Let me make sure I pour nice and slow.
I know, I've gotten into trouble for that before too.
For all the beer snobs out there, slow pour.
Gotta get a nice
For all
head
the
on
beer
here.
snobs appreciate it. Got a head on that Diet Coke.
Oh, yeah, check that shit out. Oh,
Little Coke head.
You see his foam, Eric?
I did, yeah. It's a good Coke pour.
away. I don't want to fall asleep, so I chose caffeine.
Cheers, you guys.
Good.
I was
Cheers.
excited to open this.
Cheers.
It's pretty good.
That's pretty tasty.
Yeah, that'll do.
I was getting thirsty. So in August, that's when the hop harvest is. So breweries year round will typically use freeze dried hops. So they pick them all in August and then they freeze dry them so they can use them year round. So every August you'll have a bunch of fresh hop IPAs come out where they'll use fresh hops. So this is ripe. It's a all Citra IPA that Great Notion does all the time, but once a year they do the fresh hop version, which is always really good. It's just 7%. And a tip with fresh hop IPAs is you never ever want to let them get old. You want to drink them within a couple weeks so you can get the full experience. Otherwise, the flavor fades pretty quickly and it's just like drinking a normal IPA. So yeah, they don't last as long, but this is tasting really good.
Interesting. I did not know about that.
And Bolino's drinking another
I'll go
fresh one.
next. Yeah, so I'm drinking a fresh hop from Brewhouse, and it's the fresh hop ale, and it's just outstanding. And just even just aesthetically, look at the color of this beer. And this is like a slow sipper for me. It's like 8.2%. But what I've noticed, like even more than other beers, like when it warms up, you really get that flavor profile really comes out. And this is just my second one I've had, second can. I think I had two more, and I just kind of like savoring them. But
Looks
I know
like
I need to drink them
eggnog.
soon. What was that?
Yeah, don't take
Looks
too
like
long,
eggnog,
but
dude.
I can't. I know. But it's great.
and that one has which hops in it?
I was looking, I didn't see it. They actually
I'll
didn't
find it
list
real
it this
quick.
time.
They did that one 2 years ago for Halloween, just the normal version.
Yep.
And it was really good. This one has Citra and Mosaic, and then also Peacherine and Nectaron. So 4 different hops, all really good ones. Yeah, I have that one in my fridge too, Bolino. I'm excited to drink it. That one was canned like what, last weekend? It's like barely a week old.
It's super new, yeah. But it's
Yeah.
really great.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be like really aromatic and how's your smell doing these days?
It's the same.
Like
I can
bad
smell it
or
right here.
yeah.
But no, I mean, like you're saying, it's aromatic. So if I can smell it, I know it has a lot of it's rather intense, put it that way. So it's great.
Tell us about your drink, Alex.
Oh,
What the
this
hell's
is
going on?
a small company out of Atlanta, I believe.
Oh yeah.
It's a NA. So alcohol puts me to sleep. And also I didn't have any beer on hand and didn't have any time. So I don't know what to do in Minnesota. Like, I don't know if they have it at gas stations, grocery stores. Like, I haven't explored that yet. And I just hardly ever drink. So
Tell us about your history with Diet Coke.
I've drank a lot of it. Yeah. Because I like caffeine. Well, I'm addicted like many people, but I like cold beverages and I like ease of use. So I don't want to make coffee. I don't want hot coffee. It's just like a very readily available cold caffeine.
Were you a normal Coke fan first and then switched to Diet?
No,
Do you think Diet Coke tastes better than Coke? You're one of those guys?
I do. Yeah. Regular Coke's too sweet.
So it's Diet Coke and not Diet Pepsi.
Yeah, you can tell the difference there. Pepsi's like sweeter and Coke is sharper.
Mm.
Yeah.
I used to love Coke, and I'd drink it like as much as possible, like in my early 20s. I would like wake up and like grab a 2-liter from the fridge. Like seriously wake up and the first thing I drink in the morning, I'd kill off the 2-liter that I'd started the day before. And then I'd open a new one. I'd drink like 1 or 2 2-liters a day. It was insane.
I wasn't sure which size to go with for the show.
But I always thought Diet Coke tastes like shit.
It's an acquired taste.
It's acquired.
Yeah. And then once you're used to it, then you can't do regular Coke. You're like, oh, it's
Really?
terrible. It's too sweet. Yeah.
I just feel like the aspartame like has such a weird like
It's an
medicinal
aftertaste.
flavor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's really strange how it becomes an addiction, but
It grows on you.
replace all other addictions. Okay. I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't drink alcohol. I don't do any other sort of drugs like with any regularity. So let me have it. Okay. Let me
Your
have this
guilty
one
pleasure.
thing, this one vice.
Guilt free.
Yeah. And it won't put
But what
my
did
body
you-
on a Brews and Views episode.
What do you find over in the boondocks of Montana?
So, yes, there are 2 grocery stores in town. There's the Food Roundup, which I'm not kidding, that's the name. And then the other grocery store, I'm not even sure has a name. It just kind of says grocery store. But that is the one with the Montana State Liquor Store in it.
It's a very accurate name. You know what
Yeah.
you're walking into.
Yeah,
no
you
confusion,
know it's a grocery
honest.
store.
Transparency.
Yeah. You would think West Yellowstone would have like some kind of cute little brewery or something, but they might actually, now that I think about it, but I didn't even think to go there. So, but whatever. So I wasn't gonna do Coors Light or Natural Light to give Eric a heart attack.
Thank you.
I cannot drink that stuff anyway.
Almost as bad as
So-
Diet Coke.
Yes. Even though David was like, you should just show up with that and just see like the reaction that you get. And I was like, oh, I'd like to be invited back. So I'm gonna do that. So I picked up a hard cider. It's a huckleberry, since I'm in the land of huckleberries here near Yellowstone. I'm sorry, I said 7% earlier. It's 6.8%. It's One Tree hard cider. It's comes from Spokane, Washington. Never heard of them. First taste, pretty good. Fruity, light. It's nice. It'll do. It'll do.
Wait, does that mean I'm not invited back because I chose something out of
Well,
a
I was
gas
going to say
station?
that's your ticket out of here, Alex, if you're tired of me asking you.
No, I
I
just
know.
need to plan to get a beer further in advance. I don't
Okay.
I don't know where to go to get a beer that isn't one from the gas station because they have 40s at the gas stations.
Do it.
But like,
Yeah, Mickey's.
Just do it.
well, it would probably be a Coors or something, you know. I
You
don't
should
know.
do 40 hands on the next episode.
They probably have line and Kugels. Wait, no, I'd have to go to Wisconsin for that. See, the only beer I know is from back in my Wisconsin days.
That's crazy. I didn't know they still even made 40 ounces like that anymore.
Yeah,
Douglas.
and the 24s, the tall boys too.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
Tall
sure you've
Boys,
seen
yeah.
those, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe that's yeah.
But
I
the
did
40.
do 40 hands once in like 2008. Yeah.
I knew there was a kid at my high school that got pulled over and he was driving.
With the 40 hands? Does everyone
Like how-
know about that?
What do
Belina,
you
know
even
about
say when
I don't
the
know
when the
about
cop
this.
rolls down the window?
that? Edward 40,
Like-
you know, Edward Scissorhands, Edward 40 hands, they duct tape
Yeah.
a 40 to each hand and you have to finish them before you can get rid of them, right?
Yeah.
Oh my
So I guess he
God.
couldn't finish. He's like, I gotta go home.
Alcoholism, it's great. 80 ounces of beer.
Yeah.
Pretty
and
awesome.
we're on the road right now too, so unfortunately the fridge space is like for essentials like food. Versus our
Beer's an essential.
beer.
Kidding
I
me?
know. So we had to leave, although Paul would be proud. We finished the whole stash that like Paul gave to us, and then we were kind of running low before we left anyway. So yeah, sadly we couldn't bring any good beer, but we will be going through Oregon in a few weeks. And there's talk about Great Notion, like perhaps a stop, so I
Go
can
to
stop.
Brews and Brewhouse.
Yes, yeah.
I would definitely go to Brewhouse if I were you guys. You would love
Okay.
it.
For
Okay.
IPAs, but Jennifer likes
Yeah.
the sours and
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Brewhouse only does IPAs and stouts every now and then. But if
do
you're
like-
staying in Oregon long enough, you could always ship beer from Great Notion to where you are.
Too, yeah. Yeah, we'll
You have,
figure
like,
it
a
out.
2-week window.
But we're due for a restock, so
Yeah, we can always hook you guys up. We've been getting some really good stuff. I got some great smoothies in my fridge right now. I'd share with you if you were here.
nice.
All right, DT.
Well, in true DT fashion, and I think this is the same one that I had from before. This cider from down the street, Lee's Liquor. You know, you can never go wrong. Mango Supernova, and man, lots of flavor, a little bitterness to it, but you know, unlike you beer snobs, mine is 9%, you know, alcohol. So
That's a cider though, isn't it?
yeah, it's a cider. You know, give me a little tingle by the time this is over with. You know, I gotta
Well, that's just
drown
number
out-
one too.
yeah, you gotta drown out some of the minutia with you sometimes, Eric. So you know. I'm just
Smooth it
kidding.
out a bit.
Yeah. No, I love it. I love being on here with you guys, and you know, Eric, you always have me dying laughing. So yeah, happy to be a part again. But yeah, I keep it real simple. You know, I love the flavorful stuff. Anything that has a lot of flavor and a little sweetness to it, I'm all about it. I don't know anything about no brew houses and you know. Foamy stuff and you know, all the other you know stuff that you guys talk about, but you know, I keep it simple, real simple.
Nice.
I like it. Respect.
Yeah,
Classic.
you know, not quite
Photography.
right, not quite on Diet Coke level, but you know.
Well, obviously,
Yeah, it's pretty
I would
low.
command the highest respect here. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, guys. I think this is the first episode where I don't have any of the other B&V guys here.
Originals.
I had to put together a skeleton crew for this one.
Are we scabs?
Yeah, right. We're the
scabs.
hand-me-downs, the redheaded stepchilds.
Yeah,
Oh
had to
my
throw it
God.
together. Jimmy was supposed to be here, but then he got called into a teacher meeting last minute, so he couldn't make it either. So
Where's PB at?
he's on the road right now. He bought a Sprinter van in like
shit.
Santa Barbara, and then he decided
Nice.
to drive it back along the coast and make a thing out of it. So, and then
Nice.
Mikey's in Greenland right now on a sailboat watching the Northern Lights.
I know.
Oh, he's still
Crazy.
there. He posted that photo from there. That was really nice.
He just got there. They have
Just got
Wi-Fi
there.
on the boat. Apparently, he's been texting
Wow.
us.
Yeah, that photo was so
Lucky.
good.
Yeah.
I saw that. I was like, oh my god,
Gorgeous.
day one.
The iceberg one.
Yeah.
Oh, god.
I thought he was already back and just like curated already.
I know
Straight
he
from the
just yeah, he's posting since day one. He doesn't waste any time.
I would like to get like that one day. I still
Mhm.
struggle.
Oh, it'd be nice to not wait as long as I do.
Oh god.
I agree.
If only there was some way around procrastination, but you got to do it. You know, you got to
Yeah,
put it.
somebody
on.
has to do it, right?
Somebody has to do it.
Right.
Otherwise, what? We're gonna have all the photos in the world out, and then there won't be
And
anything.
exactly.
New.
Totally makes sense. I'm on board with
We're
that. Alex.
performing a service. Yeah.
Yes. I agree.
Would all you guys say your favorite season to photograph is fall?
For me,
Yeah.
it's a mixed
Fall or
bag.
winter.
Yeah.
Fall, winter for me.
I would
Late
say
fall.
definitely. I would say fall for me. I don't do a
I'm
whole
gonna go
lot. I do some stuff in the winter, but definitely fall for me.
I like all the seasons, but fall is when I'm like excited as fuck, and I think it's when I get out the most. That like, I'll pretty much block out October and November like just for shooting, being out in the field as much as possible. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think about anything else.
For me, it's a little
I'm
bit harder in the
still-
Northwest. There's like not as much fall color. So the opportunity is not really as like, the vine maples can get kind of nice and red, but we have big leaf, we have larches up high, which are kind of hard to get to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
The
you need
oaks
to
can be
plan for
good,
that in
but-
February, right?
Yeah. But it's still really fun to get out and enjoy it. But in
Permits.
terms of being my favorite, it's, I think spring's up there as well for me.
Mm.
So it's just
Spring
spring
too,
this year in
Northwest.
the spring.
I
Spring's
can dig spring too, Mike.
Yeah.
I'm on that.
I feel like fall lasts longer, and I don't know. I just feel like with like orange leaves and stuff, like you can just find a really nice color contrast, and yeah, I just see way more stuff in the fall. I think I'm the most prolific in the fall season.
Yeah.
Everything looks good.
Same. When everything was green, and it's not about like yellow being better than green. It's just the color contrasts and transitions and stuff.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
like so much. It's more dynamic color wise.
More variety.
Instead of the walls of green and like full trees where you can't even see the structure.
Yeah, the trees are more
Yeah.
exposed
Yeah.
too.
I love
Yeah.
late fall. If I could choose a specific time, it'd be like
Yeah.
That's
Like
That's what
super
I'm on,
late,
Alex.
Like first snows and most of the leaves on the ground and just some left on the trees. Like
Yeah.
be the best.
yeah. I
time
like.
of the entire
I'm kind
year.
of with you. I'm with you on that. I prefer like the mix of colors just for the transition and the depth within the image. As you said, Alex, the late fall splashes of color with the skeleton starting to show of the trees and that kind of thing. That's what I'm on. I would prefer either mix of color, less color versus full peak
full on
with all
peak.
the
Yeah.
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 Yeah, the peak is for tourists. Like as a
Yeah.
photographer, the peak doesn't really interest me that much because it's just summer, but it's yellow.
Mhm.
Like it's the same compositions.
Right,
And it's
exactly.
overwhelming. Like all that color can be super overwhelming to me. Like it's just a sea of yellow. So I too like when you've got at least little pockets where things have fallen. And
Mhm.
I think too, like being in the West, you can start in Colorado and literally go until late November if you just kind of like follow it down. So like
Yeah.
Colorado, then you hit northern Utah, and then you kind of go southern Utah and Canyon Country and even into Arizona and even Southern California. I mean, we've seen cottonwoods in Death Valley, late
On
November.
Christmas, we did.
Yeah, that's right.
We saw
Surprise.
fall color on Christmas that one time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's what, you can really make a few months thing out of it. It's really cool.
And I think, it's a good example, especially like how conditions are right now. I have a feeling that fall is going to extend out quite a long time this year, just because there's not a lot of stuff going on, super warm in the higher elevations. And I think all that color is just going to extend out for a super long time this year.
Mm-hmm. I think so too. I mean, in Denver today, it was 90. And it's going to be the upper 80s all week. Like, we're
That's
so happy we're not
crazy.
home right now.
Yeah,
But
it's
that's
crazy.
unheard of for this time of
Right,
year. Like,
right.
So is this like later fall? Is that a new pattern for down there in the Southwest, like Utah or Denver, Colorado area?
So here in Utah, like in the Wasatch, you could count on there being like good fall color on September 21st, like every year. I would say the last 5 years, first weekend or so of October, like October 5th, 6th, that's like when it starts to get good nowadays. Like right now, in the mountains right behind my house, like the maples and the oaks that are facing the sun that are more exposed, like they're all red and orange and stuff, and the aspens too. But if you go up in there on like the north side and like where it's more shady, they're going to be still pretty green.
Pretty green. Yeah.
I feel like Colorado is getting a little later, like each year. Like it started a few years ago. We were like, oh, well, we just had a really wet summer and everything was super green. But I feel like every year we're starting to hear that same line, or it's just super hot. Like there are definitely pockets that are always on time. Like that last week of September, especially into like the beginning of October, you could always count on that. I'd say you still can, but it's just getting to the point where more areas are just staying green longer. Like you'll still have those pockets of color, but it seems to be trending that way.
Careful what you
So
guys
it
say.
doesn't
David's
cook
like
everything.
writing up the transcript right now.
So he's taking notes.
Stenographer.
Yeah.
I'm dictating everything.
Yeah.
No, I think you're right though, Jennifer. I think it just depends, Michael. Like, it's weird. We went from last week, and I think you guys up in the Pacific Northwest got some of that cold front that came through where like it dropped the temperature here like 25 degrees. I mean, you're like, okay, this is quote unquote normal fall, but here it is a week later and it's like back almost up to 100 again.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I think there's definitely a trend of, fall starting to come like a little bit later in some areas.
Yeah.
But I mean, like you just never know. I mean, you go from having snow in Colorado to, you guys are wearing shorts again, up north. So, I mean, it's kind of,
I got a little nervous because we had snow in the mountains like a week ago. It was like raining overnight, and I woke up in the morning and it was all foggy and the clouds cleared and it was like there was snow pretty down low. I was like, damn, things might start changing quickly. And then it was 3 days later, we were in the 80s again and it's been super hot. I was all excited. Man. I was thinking like a low pressure system was moving in and it was going to feel like fall again, but it was just a fluke.
It's funny how weather talk is like quintessential small talk among anyone but photographers, nature photographers. But for us, it's like, we're getting into this. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you guys seeing over there? Like, especially different geographic regions. Like, what are you noticing over the years? Because like Zion last November, I was expecting more color, and I felt like you were saying that it was actually late in Zion, at least in the main canyon last November. Is that right, Eric? Too?
I think so, because usually the east side is like blown out by Halloween, and then like 1st of November, the main canyon starts to get pretty good. And I can't remember when that was. It was November, and the east side was still really full.
Yeah, it was like November 11th.
Yeah, and the canyon was pretty green for a while.
Yeah,
That's really late for the east side. Should be
Yeah.
like end of October.
I feel like
Usually
when
it's
I was
hard
the
to
east
hit
side
both,
was kind of
but-
blown out.
Mhm.
There's like some like red, whatever maples. But the main canyon was a lot of green in the main canyon still.
Mm-hmm.
Which
There was one year where like all the leaves were blowing down green in the main canyon. I think that was like 2018, 2019.
mhm.
That was super weird. Like just carpets of green leaves.
I think I remember that actually. Yeah, because we
Yeah.
were there. Yeah,
Will
it was weird.
those still give you oils, or are they not going to decompose?
Eventually.
To alive. Yeah, it'll take longer.
Takes a
right?
couple weeks. Yeah. I did an experiment one time, and I brought a bunch of leaves home and put them in like a Pyrex with water. But I kept it in the house, and it didn't really work because you need like the bacteria outside to decompose the leaves. So like the leaves just like didn't decompose. It made like a really thin sheet of film on the surface. But yeah, you gotta have like the whole
You
iron.
gotta get the mud
eating
too for that dark
bacteria.
backdrop.
yeah. But I was thinking it'd be cool just to make them and see what happened, and didn't work.
And then you could just make all your own oil
Yeah.
Exactly.
abstracts and just
Right.
place them,
An
Yeah.
oil farmer.
and then piece some drops on there. And you're good.
Oh yeah.
I knew that was
You
coming.
have to be so careful not to break the oil, though. That film is so delicate.
Gentle trickle.
But
in
it's
a
cool
jar and
though
then
if you
just-
because
Cool.
you're that canyon,
Spray
Alec,
ball.
that you and David found near Moab,
Yeah,
oil
that was
paradise.
crazy.
Like we did a whole series of images last year. No, not last year, like 3 years ago, where we were purposely like breaking the oil because sometimes like that one patch, like you always have that one island that stays completely still. Then you have like the swirls of the loose oil. It made really cool long exposures.
You were breaking it.
I was breaking it.
You see,
Good thing I
you
wasn't
see,
there.
you see, Eric was about to
Especially
lose
not
his
fighting.
shit.
I had a
Eric's
heart
about to
attack.
lose his shit. He's like, oh
It's
my
the
God,
worst.
you were breaking it?
When you're shooting with somebody else and you find some nice ones and they come stick their tripod in and it moves them around, and then you're like, are you fucking kidding me, dude?
That's what I
That was
was
Actually,
Belina with me.
That was
The
me.
photo
When
I
I see
got from there,
myself out
Jennifer.
now, that did it. Not a
Oh my
Coors
God.
Light, not a Natty Light, but breaking oils. That was
Can't
my
mess with the oils.
Eric was about to lose it.
Non-negotiable.
I was just being
I did lose it.
creative.
The
Oh
photo
my
I got
God.
from there, Jennifer, it was like the oil with David back then. The oil was all like scrunchy and it looked like a topo map. And it's
Yeah, it was,
because
like,
I was
wrinkled.
standing too close on the mud and I was like forcing it to scrunch up a little bit. I
Yeah.
didn't even mean to do it, but I'm like, oh, I guess that's what it looks like now. When I walked
Yeah,
up,
like-
it was nicer actually.
It like crinkles. It was like
Yeah.
really cool.
It can be cool.
Yeah. It was a fun spot.
Well, we got some great stuff to look at tonight.
It only took
First
each of us
one.
about 10 hours of work, research
Right.
to find
exactly.
acceptable images.
Hey, it took me about 5 minutes while I was waiting for my food to be made. So I don't know.
Oh,
what
so you didn't
guys
really
are-
put any thought into it. Okay.
No, I'm just prepared, and I have a folder of curated images that I know are great already. So I just got to pick them. I don't need to think about it too much,
Oh.
you know?
So you think about it over time instead of doing your homework the night before. Or the day
Exactly.
of. Okay.
Yeah. There's
Well,
a
I was
lifestyle
never good
for
at
me.
homework. I thought I had a lifestyle set up for myself where I would never have to do homework again.
No, I'm doing
I
brews
was
and
so
views
terrible at it.
every day. It's not just when we sit down to record an episode. Like I'm bruising and viewsing all the time.
Bruising and viewing.
Yeah, mostly bruising, but this one's from Kenny Muir. Photographs the Scottish Highlands a lot, and I mean, what's not to like about this? You got great atmosphere, great composition. That subject of the yellow tree sticking out against the evergreens in the background.
Who chose this one?
This is mine, of course.
Oh, did you?
And-
Of course, because you didn't say
He had
the email
time.
file. You just took a
Yeah.
screenshot of Instagram.
Right. He had Alex. He had time. He had time for this.
He had time, but then he has an arrow and 3 dots.
I wasn't gonna say anything.
I went out of my way. I downloaded an extension for Firefox so I can download the images without that stuff, without browsing the source code for the page. I'll show you. It's okay.
Fancy.
Maybe you can help us out for the next episode.
Yeah.
No, help Eric out.
This is
for the next
fantastic. I'm
episode.
sorry, Kenny. I'm just bantering over your image. This is fantastic.
It's gorgeous. Stunning.
What's
You
really
guys
nice
all know
about
Kenny's work, right?
yeah, what's nice about this image is the framing here. Like his framing is just like just right.
Yeah.
Nice,
Yep.
nice dark shadows with detail.
Yeah, the main
That
tree is like
side-
just off center where it feels
Right.
nice.
He has that side light coming in. Nice framing on the bottom right and left. This is a really cool image.
Yeah.
Really good spacing too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That atmospheric perspective in the back is just gorgeous. It's like a painting.
Yep.
He has some other ones that are really crazy, but they weren't fall scenes. So for this episode, I wanted to grab this one.
Yeah. And just the transitions, right? You have the yellow to green, you have the dark to light, the diagonal kind of like both of those transitions happen on a diagonal way, which really helps out too. Just really well done.
Good point.
Yeah.
And I kind of like how the main light at the upper whatever third of the frame does not like really strike. It's not really just solely striking that yellow tree.
hmm
I kind of like how it's not just overblown on the yellow, which gives it a different dynamic.
Yeah, it's almost like it's falling off at the yellow by the
Yeah.
time it gets out that far.
And what's really cool too is like I like how in the background there's just like the highlights are bright enough to where they're not blown out, so you still have detail. But then you can tell that there's other trees back there, but it's not very apparent. So you have to like really study the details back there. It's really cool.
hmm
Well, that works perfectly with the brightness because it could be distracting that it's so bright up there, but I'm still
Right.
locked on the yellow tree because there's not so much like detail.
hmm
It's subtle up
That's cool.
there.
It's not empty.
hmm And it's a
That was
static,
cool.
but you can feel the movement with that tree. Like I love that bend, that little sway.
It's got some
Mhm.
personality to it.
Yeah.
What's cool about Kenny's body of work is he's one of those guys that just shoots like his area where he lives for the most part. From as far as I can remember, like almost all of his images are from the Scottish Highlands. And so it just shows like how much you can extract from a place if you're familiar with it and, notice all these nuances and things that the average person would overlook because they don't have that deep familiarity with it. You don't kind of travel all over the world to make a great portfolio.
No, not at all.
A lot of times the
Especially not with
country is what
trees.
makes a great portfolio. Yeah, trees are like an endless, inexhaustible subject because like you can just pan this way and there's a whole brand new scene of different trees right next to this.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, and moments of light can just illuminate certain trees and conditions. Like it's endless what can happen with the forests.
And actually, if you look on the right-hand side, you've got a tree leaning, like they're symmetrically
Yeah.
leaning opposite of each other. I just noticed that. Like that's really cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's it's like it just creates that nice tension
Ooh, yeah.
there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a
That's
nice
really cool.
counterpoint to the main tree.
Yeah,
That's
Mhm.
pretty sweet.
Nice.
that's great.
Kenny, good stuff.
Yeah, it's so great.
Yeah, and
It's great.
Redwoods earlier this year, like you guys have all been out there. You mainly just hike the Damnation Trail and see what you can find. But like every day I would go and the conditions would be different. Like it'd be clear and sunny, or it'd be foggy, or it'd be like, just have a slight amount of haze where there's like light rays coming through. And you would just see like brand new scenes that you didn't notice before just because the conditions changing each day.
It's strange.
Yeah, that's a perfect location where, a light completely will change the landscape and you won't see it the same as it was before. It's just always different.
Those ephemeral moments, and then that's yours too. Like no one's
You know what I love about fall?
find that same
No
thing.
fucking bugs. There's flies in my beer like all the time.
I do that.
Inside?
Yeah, I mean, I open the windows and I got the front door open sometimes, coming in and out.
That's why you
Yeah,
have
flies
flies
in your
flying into your beer.
You
don't
guys just
have
live
flies.
like trapped in your little box, like
Yeah, no flies, Eric. Nope.
your AC and
Yes, sir.
AC. I got a fireplace.
Mm.
What?
I knew Alex would say something about this one.
Yeah, because I asked if I could do Christopher Burkett. We've already featured him, but now someone else gets to do Christopher Burkett. Are these who picked this one? Is this
That would be
yours too,
me.
Eric? Oh,
No, that was
no, that's
mine.
a great pick, David. That's a wonderful
Yeah.
pick. And you
That
know
would be
what?
awesome.
I
I
would have
should- I
loved to
should
have
just-
that luxury to pick.
I should just wait till you guys submit stuff and then pick yours and be like, oh no, they're already taken. And
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Alex, remember the comment I said earlier about punching Eric in his junk? I'll make sure I do that for you. They'll give him
I
two
would
punches.
appreciate that. You're closer in
Yeah, not a
Southwest there.
problem. Yep.
I'd like to see you try, David. I got some moves.
Oh God.
Got some dick moves.
Oh man.
Well, this is beautiful.
Like we were saying, the kind of like late fall with a lot of bare trees. That's
Right. Right.
this guy's a master, an absolute.
Isn't he?
Yeah.
Isn't he? And it's just like, film stuff. Just I would assume that, maybe the planning might be a little bit more, extensive, when you run around with the film camera and stuff like that. But regardless, the scene is super cool. It's different. Christopher Burkett's images is, I don't know, if you're into trees, how can you not like his work? I
He's-
mean, it's
maybe
so
the best
good.
when it just comes
Yeah.
to trees. Yeah.
It totally is. And, one of the guys that I go to his website, every time around this time of year, just to kind of get some inspiration on, trying to do something different and, look at scenes a little bit differently than what I normally do. But, this one for me just really stand out for, a fall image.
And being such a tree photographer, Christopher, if you go to his portfolio by state, he has almost every state. He's got something
Yeah.
from like
Yep.
all over the U.S. He's not just at the hot spots,
He doesn't
Absolutely.
exclusively shoot trees, does he?
No, but
I think
It's
I've
a-
seen some
most
wildflower
of his
shots from
portfolio,
him.
I'd say.
There-
Yeah.
Yeah, he does have a lot of different stuff, but I think trees is kind of like his like the bread and butter kind of thing.
For sure.
But I mean, like Alex said, just seeing trees from different states, it just kind of gives you an idea of how these different forests and woodland areas look in different areas, which is really cool. Completely different perspective than what we see on the daily, on Instagram.
I love that it's not, I don't know, so many of his tree images have so much depth, even though they're kind of like
Yes.
longer focal length, like woodland scenes. Like, I think,
Yes.
I don't know if it's misty conditions or what, but you try to shoot that and sometimes you might have way too much contrast. Like that tree is not going to stand out. Like,
Sure.
I don't know if it's just a lot of bare branches back there creating that kind of white backdrop or if it was misty, but he's a master of that too. Like just
Yep.
wrangling the chaos. I mean, there's so much going on in the image, but it all like reads so well. And it's
Right.
not processing too.
Well, no. And then, the other thing too is like what I like about his work is like his woodland scenes feel very wild to me, right? Like it just seems like he's like deep in the forest somewhere. And again, like you said, Alex, maybe it's, there's so much going on. You got that
They're
little
always
bit of
filled with
atmosphere or
like
something.
texture everywhere.
Yes.
There's, like no
Yes.
empty flat space.
Yeah, and it just gives the scene that wild feel, like it's like a wild place, and I really like that. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, it's very true to like how forests look, and
Yeah.
Like that, with that right there.
but also
Did you have something
cohesive
before,
and-
Bellino? I feel like I started talking at the same time.
No,
as
you're
you.
good. I was gonna piggyback on the whole idea of him photographing all the different states and kind of do a little guessing game about like which state do you think this might be from. So David, don't tell us, but do you know where this was taken offhand?
I'll let you guys guess. I'll give you guys.
Virginia or something? Like out east?
I would say
I
like the
was thinking-
Smokies or
I was also thinking New England somewhere.
Yeah.
yeah, East Coast for sure.
Actually, I think this one, Michael, I think this was, I believe it was Tennessee.
Tennessee.
That makes
yes.
sense.
So Alex, you won.
Yeah.
You got it.
I'm close.
Yeah, I believe it's Tennessee.
But when I went out east, like this is my primary inspiration was his portfolio. I mean, Charles Kramer has a lot of stuff out there too, but
Yeah.
just like I feel like a lot of these southeastern states fly under the radar. You know, like they don't have like the big, other than the Smokies, the big national parks that draw 1 million people, and like there's not as much obvious stuff to shoot out there. It's a lot of chaos, so it's kind of hard.
Mm-hmm.
And then you look at these guys and they have like made their life's work on that stuff, and it's so impressive, especially once you go there and you're like, man, that's still hard. Like even though I feel like I have an eye for that sort of thing, it's like it's tough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's tough to even make one photo like a Christopher Burkett, but he's got a whole lifetime of work, right?
Yeah, it's
Actually,
tough for you.
Yeah.
I'll stand corrected. That's actually Virginia, but I think,
Virginia,
Alex,
I should have.
I think,
come on.
Jeez,
Can't do
we're
that.
from Maryland, so
but still,
Yeah.
East Coast, you know, outside of the box, I mean, how many of us would think about going to, you know, VA to go photograph fall colors in, you know, some crazy forest like this?
You always got to fact check everything David says.
I know.
yeah.
So always steering
If it's West
misinformation.
VA, if it's West
Yeah.
VA, you got to watch out for people like with certain candidates' flags on the back corners of their trucks screaming at you on the side of the road. Yeah,
Yeah,
because that happened to me.
That might be a problem. That might be a problem.
Yeah. A little sketchy.
Yeah.
This one is extremely
God.
silky.
So
Silky
nice.
smooth.
Yeah.
So I chose this one. First of all, I mean, everyone knows Joe Cornish. If you don't, definitely go to his website and look at his work. I don't think he's really active on social media, is he? He's kind of like not a social media
No.
guy.
He doesn't even
for
have
the
an
most part.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
He is just one of my definite favorite photographers ever. And whenever I look at his work, I get inspired. And in fact, I got like 4 images from him for fall to submit, but this one won out for me. And one reason is because color's not dominant. It's definitely a very large like feature of the image, but it doesn't dominate. What dominates is this incredible silky, to use your word, Eric, these brightness and whites, and just a sense of depth with the different trees. You got those really close ones, you got the ones in the midground, the ones in the background, and how it just recedes into, I'm assuming, fog. And it just kind of like just grabbed you. Like sometimes you don't really need like to intellectualize why an image works. It just kind of works and just grabs your attention. And then if it holds your attention like this one did for me, it's just great to look at. The sense of balance is very interesting. There's a very large amount of color in the upper right corner. There's kind of like that small branch diagonally down in the left upper part, which also kind of helps as a counterpoint.
Mm-hmm.
And just little details, like just the way the darker branch is diagonal up towards the right. It's kind of like a repeating pattern. I just like the way he used space in this image. I don't know, I just really just instantly thought that this image would be a really good one to show.
Yeah.
It was.
I agree. I like it's not quite like high key, but it has a high key feel, very monochromatic. So you don't really have a ton of color dominating the scene, which I think is really cool. You know, those foreground trees have a lot of character. You have the split in the one right in the immediate foreground, the other one that has a little bend just to the right of it. Like Michael was saying, subtle details that really make the image stand out. I'll be really curious, Michael. Did he say where he took this at?
I'm not sure, but I know he went to Colorado at least 1 year.
Okay.
He's got another really great Aspen image that I almost selected, but I'm
Because he's in the
assuming
UK, but I
Colorado.
was like certain
Yeah.
these are Aspens.
Yeah,
I was
these are
thinking the
ones-
same.
Yeah, so I think it's Colorado. I could be wrong though.
Yeah.
It's really
I don't
cool.
know about you guys, but I found with these like foggy scenes, you really can't like increase the contrast. You got to go like low contrast and a bit brighter. Like there really is only kind of like one direction you can take them, or else they look really dingy and weird. And
You can take them the other direction, but they look dingy and weird. Yeah,
right.
some do. But yeah, the fog, it's like pure, so pure feeling, and he didn't fall into the trap of making it blue either. Like
Blue.
in
Thank
Yeah.
you, Jesus.
Yeah.
I know David appreciates that. Like the pure, that's like pure white. That's not even
I
like
don't mind.
6500K white. That's like
I don't mind slightly blue fog if it's like a twilight scene, you know?
Oh, yeah.
It actually is blue at twilight, but like
Yeah, like you can
but yeah,
feel the
this,
darkness.
I mean, it just feels so pure, and you could have easily fallen into like blue fog
Easy.
and yellow leaves, right, and cranking up that
Yes.
color contrast
Absolutely.
too.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
love
you
that
didn't need
there's
to
more
here
to
at all.
fall than color, and then like you said, like there's not a lot of color, so it's like, but it's still only one that you could make in fall, right? Because all the trees would be so full in summer,
Oh.
and yeah, like Bellino was saying, like the direction to the upper right, like the flow of those branches, that pulls me first, but then he's got this stand of trees on the left that are higher contrast to pull you back, so that's why I think it feels balanced.
Yeah, they're clustered together too, which helps with that visual weighting, which is really nice.
Yeah,
On the left.
Yeah.
it's like I mean, it's nice to have something that like sends you one direction, but then you get pulled back, so you're kind of like scanning the whole frame, and you're not just locked on one thing the entire time.
And it's not just left to right. It's also like, for me, it's frontwards, backwards. Like I want to zoom in between the trees and look at the background, then zoom back out, then go to the next gap in the trees and zoom back in to the background and check out the details. And I
Yeah.
love images like that, where I'm actually going frontwards to backward and then just checking out all the different sections of the image. And this one does that in spades.
Mhm.
Well, it's easy for a shot of just straight trunks to not have any depth, right? But he
Yeah.
definitely has a lot here,
Yeah.
like how they just fade into the mist in the background.
Yeah, I was doing that, Michael, because I actually just realized you see that very slight yellow in the back in between the trees of other aspens. And I didn't even notice that the first 2 minutes I was looking at this, but by looking at every tree, every stand of trees and going front to back and going in between the trees, I went, oh, wow, there is color back there. And it's so subtle and just so beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my early inspirations, Joe Cornish. I remember when I was first got my digital camera. I remember seeing his work a lot in those UK magazines on, you know, the how-tos and whatnot. And Joe was always one of the guys in there. Him and Charlie Waite were just heavily in those magazines, and you just don't really see those guys anymore like that. It's pretty crazy, just considering just how good these guys are and masterful their work is.
Yeah, he's a master. He's a master. To use that term, master photographer, whatever, but he is definitely a master of the art form.
Yeah, for sure.
I like images like this too that kind of embrace like imperfection. Like I just know from teaching a lot in the fall, like a lot of students of mine would have pointed out like the darker branches as like distractions. They would have been like, I can't organize this, and oh my gosh, I hate that, but I love it here. I mean, it's just organized so well and composed so well.
Yeah.
Check
And
this
that,
out.
that diagonal branch in the upper left looks like it might be, it's a fallen one too, right? So that would be
Oh,
considered
yeah.
an imperfection. It's
Oh
not
yeah,
straight,
true.
But
It's
it
probably like
balances
hanging
out the
there
other
or
ones.
broken.
Yeah.
I used to know this photographer that he'd always have an assistant come with him. And whenever we'd go and like shoot aspen scenes, he would send his assistant in with like a big long branch, and he would knock down all those like black ones to clean it up. He would like spend an hour just going through a grove, literally knocking off all the black dead branches that were still on there.
Wow.
Well, here's the thing. With all of that extra work, did it make the images any better?
I guess it cleaned it up a little bit, but in my opinion, like I love when I find like the wiry black branches everywhere. Like I have some photos coming out in a new fall gallery I'm going to release soon that have a lot of that, and I think it looks really cool. You know, and that black and white contrast because the white trunks, you know.
Sure.
I dig it. Some people just don't want to have any kind of messiness, I guess, to work with.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see both sides of it, but
Yeah.
it just seems like a lot of extra work for, you know, maybe, you know,
Small payoff.
Yeah, like a small payoff, subtle results.
Or possibly, I don't know, something that makes it not look as good, like not as natural or something, you know.
Sure.
Might have a detrimental effect.
Like I wonder if like those branches serve some role for the tree itself. Like why it hasn't not fallen off yet? Does a tree
They just
for some
slowly
reason, you
rot
know?
and
They break off
detach.
they break off so easily. Like if
So
you're
they're just
looking
kind of
for
like, yeah, there's no
firewood in
benefit
an
to the
aspen
tree.
forest, those
Okay.
just like they come off the smallest touch.
Yeah, they just slowly suck out all the nutrients back into the main part of the tree trunk, and those just eventually wither away and fall off, like with the wind and stuff. So they are really brittle. Like they are meant to fall off at some point, just like
Yeah.
the leaves in the fall, how they slowly, all the glucose is sucked out, so they're not green anymore. The chlorophyll.
Yeah.
Mm,
Michael Strickland.
nice.
It's about time we
Michael
had a Michael
Strickland.
photo on here. I don't think we've ever featured him before.
Yeah, he has some good work. Does he shoot film? I
Yeah.
don't-
Are you kidding me?
yeah.
Yeah. He's got like a crazy print workshop in
Yeah.
Kansas? Yeah. He's
Yeah.
been like expanding it like constantly too, like moving to
just-
different facilities and making them bigger. And
He does like the carbon transfer prints where they have like different dye pigments that react I don't fucking know. It's crazy. It's like physically lifting up certain colors in the image. Like it's like a 3D print.
I think
It's
all the
got, like,
pigment
fun.
is made of natural materials too.
Yeah,
Like-
like of the earth. And
Mhm.
he's like a wizard on this stuff. Like the equipment that he has is like just so expensive and large, and he has like a facility. Like
Yeah.
and so he did a print for me that is in the mail, I think. Like he wanted to do a test on one of my black and whites, and I just can't wait to see it because I don't do prints like that. Like I've never seen that stuff in person. I've just seen his Instagram reels where he's like showing the depth and
He and
Yeah, I
I
would-
talked about doing a print of like one of my oil images, but using some of the oil in the ink, like the actual oil that I photographed. Like,
ooh,
yeah,
Wow.
That'd be cool.
he thought that would be possible, and it
Wow.
might be interesting.
Really? Wow.
That's crazy.
That is.
Can't remember why we didn't end up doing it, but I should reach out to him again. I just remembered that.
just having seen so many, this is my pick, by the way, having seen so many canyon scenes with all these elements, like just spending a lot of time in canyons in the Southwest, like it's rare to see this much going on and also be able to organize it. And like,
Mhm.
it looks so natural and so, I mean, kind of like the Joe image, like he didn't worry about imperfections. You know, there's so much imperfection within the scene, but it's also like so structured and there's a lot going on, but there's like a clear organization to it and clear focal points. And I just thought it was really impressive. And also it doesn't rely on full fall color, but you can see that you're starting to get more contrast between the trees as it
Yeah.
starts changing there.
Yeah, I
When
love
it's
it.
all just like bathed in gorgeous reflected light too.
Yeah,
off the canyon
like that's
walls,
why it's
yeah.
also warm. Like at first I was like, oh, it's kind of warm, like there's not
Yep.
really separation, but that's just the light is that way, you know. Like you can see it on
And
the tree trunks in the background in particular.
And I think that's also something too. Alex is a good point. You know, if you photograph canyons like this, and you know how that reflected light reflects down into the canyon, and it gives the image that warm, warmish
Is
color
bathed
cast, right?
in yeah, it has
Right.
a cast in person, right? So
Right.
sometimes the casts are natural, like that's
Yeah,
that's what
exactly.
was there, and you try to kill it too much, and then you lose the light.
Yeah, but the other thing that's cool about this, though, with it still having the subtle cast there from the reflected light into the canyon, is the greens that are like in the shaded areas, like in the far back left corner, are like actual like a cooler green, right? They're not completely like red or orange or anything like that. And then you can see as the greens start to come forward into the frame, they start to get a little bit warmer, being that stuff is not in the shadows anymore. So again, I don't know how he processed it, if it was done with film or whatever the case may be. There's still plenty of color separation in here to give the scene that sense of depth.
Yeah, it's got those anchors or those cooler tones like in the
Yeah.
shadows. That's a good point because
Yep.
If you ever want to
If
spot a
those were
color cast,
warm-
just look at the shadows.
Exactly.
if those were warm, it would just look like it was added in processing, or the film
Yep.
was too warm, But,
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Piggybacking off what Alex said, like I love this because it makes me feel like I'm right there. like walking through one of these canyons, because I think a lot of photographers struggle in canyons because of all the great images that are out there with either single trees or very carefully curated compositions with like bushes. This is what it usually looks like to
There's
me.
a lot of chaos.
Yeah, you come around a corner and you get something like this, and it can be super frustrating to try to compose that, work with the chaos, organize it. But I like this because to me, this is real. Like, I feel like I just came around a bend and
Yeah, it has a very subtle subject. Like it really is a photo of the inside of a canyon.
Yep.
Instead of like one of the trees or one of the rocks, it's like the subject is kind of the scene, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that
even in most photography where you'd say there's the scene as a subject, it's more identifiable. It's like there's a mountain or a stream that's like super dominant. And
yeah.
I would go into this canyon and I would see this and I'd be like, I don't know what to do with this.
Yeah, like it would look cool, but
It would
you
look
wouldn't turn it
totally
into
cool.
a photo.
Right.
Like
It
when
would
you're in a
look
place, you're
totally
like, oh, it's
cool.
so beautiful, everything looks awesome, but you're not really
Right.
seeing compositions or subjects or.
I would fail miserably at this scene. I just know it. Like I would see this and go like, man, this looks really cool, and I would
Dude,
put
you
a lens
totally
on it,
would. You
and I would
fuck it
fail.
up.
Yep.
You would blow it
Totally
so hard.
agree. Yep.
I don't think I would have thought to use that broken stump on the right as such a large element, to
No
help
But
way
you
you
know
would have
it's-
thought of that,
the
Alex.
balance of the trees. What's that?
Yeah.
I didn't hear that, Eric.
Eric is being Eric.
I just didn't hear specifically how. I knew he was being Eric though.
I said, there's no way you would have thought of that about that. It would have just gone way over your head.
I probably would have been like, nope, looks broken. I want everything to be perfect in
Right.
nature.
And I have not much more to add than what you guys already said. It's such a complex scene, and he just organized it so well. It feels natural. It doesn't feel forced. There's no forced arrangement. And just the use of the splashes of the yellow leaves, the yellower leaves, is really nice. Just the way it kind of guides the eye around the frame. Just so well done. I mean, complexity, like we always want to simplify, right? But this is a great example of like, at times, like a really complex image can be, when you're thinking more of just like ideas around color and shapes and texture, can be really
Yep.
in lines in the walls in the background.
Yeah.
If you're thinking more of those design elements, this is a great example of you thinking in design elements more so than just features, like physical
Sure.
objects in the frame.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think the simplicity here is in the it's immediately readable because of like the spacing of the main trees and the colors of the foliage. Like that structure there is simple. It's kind of like in that circle, that frame. And then it just allows, I don't know, I feel like it gives you a base to explore all the complexity and you don't feel like you're lost in actual chaos.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like you can always latch onto something as you're exploring.
The
Mhm.
boulders give it nice structure.
Boulders,
The
are good,
trees.
too, and the wall, of course. But
Yeah.
Really cool.
Before I go on the next one, I opened up another beer. You guys got to catch up, man.
Mhm.
Got to kick things up a notch. This is another fresh hop beer from Brews in collaboration with Fidens. It's a double IPA, Magister Ignis. This one has Nelson and Marawaca and then fresh Citra hops. So, I mean, I had the normal version of this a few months ago and it was amazing. So this should be great.
What's the verdict?
It's pretty good. Very pungent flavor. Definitely feeling the fresh hop experience on this one.
We might need to leave Eric alone for a bit.
pungent
I know,
flavor.
right?
9%.
Sings the
Turn his camera
nostrils.
off.
Yeah, it's pretty intense, really saturated. So there's another one of mine. Cesar Llaneza, one of my favorite photographers on Instagram. Always continually posting amazing stuff that blows me away. There's one I bookmarked a long time ago. It's not very recent, but thought it'd be nice to throw in here because it's got a lot of cool colors here that are perfect, not just the warm stuff. So
Mhm.
yeah, thought this one was really cool. It's just like a really great reflection scene. You see a lot of these, but then you see ones like these where you're like, oh yeah, he really did it right. Did something new with that
Mhm.
idea that's used a lot. And yeah, I really love this one.
Yeah. This makes you think. Like at first glance, you have to kind of really concentrate to see what's going on. But I love that. There's so much.
And you can't really tell that it's flipped, which I like, because as soon as I know something's upside down, I just want to go like this. I'm pretty sure the grass is upside down. It's really hard to tell, but
Well,
on
that's
the
what I was
bottom,
going to say is a lot of these are flipped that you see now because it's, flipping the reflection to make it look painted or whatever. But this looks like that's actually just the shore in front of him.
yeah.
You can
But
just tell that
the
it's
crowns
not
of
if
the
you look super
trees give it
closely.
away because the crowns are on top instead of the bottom, I think.
Right.
Yes,
That's what
yes,
had
yes,
me.
yes.
I was looking at that. I'm like, how did he do that? Are those trees coming in above him? Like,
Or like hanging down, maybe.
yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, it's really cool.
A lot of green too, which I appreciate. Like that, it wasn't just the pink color. I mean, you have a
some
nice
green leaves.
palette. Yeah.
You guys all follow Cesar?
Yeah,
I follow him. Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love his work.
Even the blue, like you mentioned it as well, Eric, but the blue is just like, it's really dominant. And I
Yeah,
like
it's
the way
very
he
punchy
kept
here.
it dominant. It punched it,
Yeah.
like just the hue of it, the exact hue of the blue.
It's very appropriate
I
here.
would
It
have probably
works.
dialed it back, but I think that would have been a mistake. And I think his decision to keep it really punchy and strong and dominant really helps make this image rise above.
Yeah, it was a bold
doesn't
choice,
look-
but it's what elevates it.
It doesn't look
Well,
unnatural to me. Like if it was Twilight, that would be that blue.
Right.
Yeah.
And the other
It's
thing
still
too,
in the
with
realm
that-
of believability.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's
with
not
the-
believable, but I would maybe try to desaturate the blue. To kind of
Believability.
like, but
That's
think
what I
that would've
usually
been a
do. I usually
mistake.
desaturate it blue, like automatically, blue and
think it-
green.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But that blue just makes everything, all those leaves pop out though with that hard contrast. Like it,
Yeah.
it almost feels like if it was like desaturated too much, like the leaves just wouldn't have as much of an impact.
Yeah, it'd be like really muddy and like
point.
blended together.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's almost a dimensionality, or however you say that word, with the floating leaves and the trees and the branches and the canopies. And I feel that blue separates that out. Like it adds depth because you actually search through the gaps and you look through and you're like, oh.
After 2 beers, you're allowed to make up words. So
Dimension.
I'm not even there yet. I just can't say
Dimensionality is
that word.
a Great word.
gotta get there. You can say whatever you want.
Dimensiveness.
You're not responsible for it.
I need more scenes like this.
Fallen leaves are the best, man.
I hardly have any fall scenes like this with like leaves on the surface with nice tree reflections. I don't know. They're you would think you'd be able to find them like anywhere, like any little puddle or anything, but surprisingly difficult to find good ones.
I've tried and failed miserably.
Not surprised.
He's just getting everyone now.
Jennifer, I got you. Don't worry about it. I
I
got
know.
you.
DT, yeah,
Well, we
Right
can
here.
You can
align
jump
here.
right
We can get a
to me.
4v1 going.
right.
Right here, Jennifer. Just I got you. Right in the junk. Oh,
This one's
man.
crazy.
That is wild.
I love this one.
Oh man, that is wild.
And she's a doll. I love Cindy. If she's watching.
She was out of Grand Teton, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I was wondering if it was the same Cindy because she also goes by Cindy Hoover, and yeah, I was pretty sure it was her. She's really nice.
I'm pretty sure this placed in an Il-Pulte a few years ago. Like it made it into the book, I think, or the top 100.
Oh, so it's not a brand new image.
No, it's not. It's older.
Dang. I
Nice.
haven't seen it. I haven't seen this one. This is nice.
Yeah, I hadn't either.
This is super nice.
So the
Probably
crazy
like in the
thing is-
Eastern Sierra.
Mhm.
It feels like Eastern Sierra, but yeah, those granite walls is a little bit different than what I've seen over there. Where's this one from, Jennifer?
I'm looking it up. I'm pretty sure it's the Sierra.
Were you
the
saying,
crazy
Blina?
thing? The crazy thing is I chose this exact image to show, but I guess Jennifer beat me to the punch. This just stopped me in my tracks too. Just amazing. I think I shared it as well on Instagram, just on my reel, whatever.
I love those diagonals. Like, I love how even the diagonals in the granite are. Oh man, that is just so nice. And like,
Mm-hmm.
It's just like those lines just flow perfectly with that center tree. Like this is like, it is super nice, man. I really like this one quite a bit.
So it is the Eastern Sierra.
Okay,
And
okay.
it doesn't have a title, but she has a really nice description. And if anyone knows me, like I love telling stories with images. I like using metaphors and anthropomorphizing. So she said that this reminded her of like a maestro conducting like a
Ooh.
I see that.
Yeah, with his little
center. Yeah.
little baton.
So I love that. That's just another
That's really
purpose
cool.
why I chose this. Because I love stories.
And I like the warmth throughout. Even the shadows feel neutral to warm to me, at least in this version on the screen right now. I think that's really great just because the bottom foliage is obviously very warm. I like that. I like just the overall warmer color palette as a whole.
I think the gray of the walls is enough to offset that. You know, it doesn't feel like it's all brown or anything. It's more like a neutral-ish.
Good point. If it's all that neutral brown from the left on the right as well, that might be a different feel. And again, that transition from darker to brighter from left to right. And even the way the yellow leaves in the bottom are brighter than they're apparently brighter than the bottom browner, more past peak color leaves is a nice transition.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
This one is cool, man. This is, oh man.
I can't stop
Super
looking
nice.
at the stuff in the background against the wall.
Yeah.
Like the
That's-
yellow
that's-
tree. Yeah.
The diagonal
that's-
cracks
That
are
extra
awesome.
depth, because the tree against
yeah.
the wall, like that sort of shot often lacks depth. You know, it's just the tree and the wall, and then this has like that extra dimension to it behind the main tree.
Yeah, those trees in the shade and the softer light and stuff.
Yeah, this one's sick.
And one of the big reasons I love this image, I'm totally going to get pitchforks for this, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Here we
She
go.
centered her subject.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It breaks that horrible camera club rule of don't center your subjects, but you know what?
That's one of the
Work.
craziest things I've ever heard.
Symmetry is a
Oh, I
balance.
hate that rule. I hate
I don't
it.
get how that even became a thing. Like,
I don't-
why
It's
I'm a rule
subject.
breaker.
balance
I'm a rule
is
breaker.
wrong.
That's like
Yeah.
that's
That's a
it's like a
That's a
guideline for someone who's
yeah.
never taken a photo before. Like,
That's
don't
ridiculous.
just point in the center, try other things, but then like,
Well, the thing is, like,
there's
it
plenty
just
of
has
reasons
to,
do it too.
right. It just has to make sense. And, you know, I get it, but like, it just has to make sense for the scene, right? And,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
there's
this
reasons to
particular-
slightly off center something too.
Right.
You know, it can add
Right,
more
right.
energy. It can, depending on what's around it, it can actually balance it out better than being in the center.
Yeah.
But you just got to understand like the benefits of each one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's balanced.
I'm a rule breaker. I throw everything in the center. So I don't, I'll be
So
the
do I.
I break the rules all the time. So, you know, I'll get the pitchforks too.
That's okay.
Delinquent.
People can email their complaints to Jennifer at jenniferrenwick.com.
Or the comment section.
Yeah,
there below.
yeah.
Yeah, let
Sorry,
Eric deal with them.
Right there in the comment section, guys.
I'll take the heat. Thank God for the middle finger
Apparently,
emoji.
that's how it happens.
Oh God,
Like the host of the show gets the heat.
I didn't
Yeah.
condone that.
It's like I've said some things on like podcasts before, and then had the host be like, "Oh, I just got so much email about that." I'm like, I didn't hear a peep. That's kind of funny. They're mad at you for something I said.
Just throw them under the bus.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. I just hear so many people, especially teaching, that are so afraid to do exactly this. And it's like, no. Like, just go with your gut and what you feel. And it does work. Like, you do have to, you know, it's about
Often.
balance. But yeah, it works.
It just has to make sense.
On the contrary, it can sometimes feel very boring, but it just doesn't. There's nothing that works 100% of the time or that doesn't work 100% of the time. Like, you got to be able to have that. What starts with a D? My brain's losing vocabulary now. No, what's that?
Discrimination?
Ah,
Discrimination?
no, we don't discriminate here, Jennifer.
Oh, I've been.
No, what's that word? Like when you like to know from right from wrong, or
I'll
like
see myself out.
discernment. Like you have to
Discernment.
be able to
Yeah.
discern. Yeah.
Oh God. See what Two Beers does? He's 2 beers in, and
I
look
was
at
going
him.
to say,
Well, I
Two
just
Beers in,
started
he
the
doesn't know
second
about
one.
discerning anymore.
I know, you just can't even.
Well, you guys didn't know either. Discrimination.
You were
Oh
so
my God.
discerning.
Detainment,
Oh, we didn't know what you were
whatever.
thinking. We didn't read your mind, so we're drunk too. Yeah.
Discouragement.
Kane.
Diet Coke's getting to you.
Oh my God.
Look out,
Kaner. Kaner.
This is I'll say this is my pick. I know Eric and the boys have mentioned Kane's work before on the show, but
He was on our last fall showcase episode last year.
yeah.
That I think you did with us, David. Did you?
Oh,
not?
did I? No, I don't
Maybe.
remember. No, I don't think so. I don't think I did.
Too many ciders. Can't remember.
Yeah. Oh my God, I tell you, I
It's
can't wait
one
to see
cider
you,
in, but
Eric.
it's 9%.
Right. Eric, I cannot wait to see you. I cannot. But Kane's work, and, look, Kane's a master at these forest scenes. For me, I always like to see color contrast in images just because of the depth, right? The depth and the space in there. And with this scene, it's busy. Again, like I said, I like the wild field, but at the same time, it's organized in the way that my eye still flows through the scene effortlessly and not getting hung up anywhere. The aspen trees in the foreground have a lot of character. As you guys know that have, photographed ferns with aspen trees in Colorado, it's hard.
Oh.
It's really hard. And to find stuff that's like not completely thrashed to all hell or huge gaps within the ferns and that kind of thing, he doesn't have any of that. And like the color of the ferns is just right. So it's like he has all the stuff and the things going on to make this image work. And this is just it's one of my favorites from him. I just absolutely love this scene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then he's got the arrangement of the trees on top of that. So you find all those ferns, and then like the trees suck. It's like, well, what am I going to do here now?
Yeah.
Like, or they don't. You just can't make them work. Like to get
It's
everything,
hard.
this many elements working
Right.
together.
It's hard. It's hard to get, like, especially like I said with ferns, it's hard to get the scenes to work. And this is just like he has it. He got it. Like this is super.
The
nice.
depth here is crazy too. I wonder if you had to focus stack this or
Yeah.
get it sharp from front to back, and you can tell those ferns are pretty close, and that foliage in the background is
Mm-hmm.
not
It's pretty
close.
compressed. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Or if
and
he
has-
must have just been super far away from all of it.
could
Could
be.
be like a single exposure.
Then he has like the big fat daddy. Those are old growth aspens right there. Those are like
Yeah, the
those are
honkers.
like those are the big
Honkers.
ones.
You find those, the girthy ones in Colorado. We don't really have them in Utah.
Bonkers.
Girthy.
They get thick.
Yeah, those are the
Always.
big ones. And you
Yeah.
don't see those. You don't see them very often. So, people that are into aspen trees, you guys, if you see those big daddies like those, this is rare. You don't see too many of those. So,
Something kind of sad.
Yeah.
You know what the AI generative fill is really good for?
what's that?
Getting rid of like the names and shit carved into aspens. Because sometimes when you try to clone them,
Oh,
it gets a little
interesting.
messy, especially if you have some really fucked up ones.
Mhm.
But the generative fill does a good job of that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't use any of that. I just clone like nobody's business.
Yeah, sometimes you have like if somebody carved their name like on the edge, like on the
Oh,
profile
yeah,
of
yeah.
it, it's really
Yeah.
hard to clone out.
It's just
'cause you
really
have to clone in like the
obnoxious.
background. Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
So generative fill does a perfect job at that. Not that I ever use that AI, and no, that's bad, guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I see scenes like this makes me want to just go out and shoot some stuff like right away. This is pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's fucking money.
It reminds you of what it feels like when it all comes together.
Yeah. I mean, just look at
Just
those
the joy
colors.
of like putting together that puzzle of composition too. Like I know that you
Yeah.
chose to stand there, and in part because of what you can see through the trees too.
And it's just,
Which-
man, it's nice.
Which is why that decision to focus stack to get those details and that sharp detail in the background yellow was really, to me, a really good choice as well. And
It'd be
again,
funny
like
if
the
it
yellow is
wasn't
so
focused
prevalent,
there.
but it's not dominating. Like the
Yeah.
tree trunks are
Yeah.
dominating, the ferns are dominating. The yellow is such a nice added dimension to the image as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's a backdrop.
And he
Kane,
broke
though,
off
not
all the
whole
little black
focus.
branches too.
For sure. His is a sentiment there.
Cleaned it up.
And I know Kane, and we just spent 2 weeks in Iceland together. What I know about him is he's
Oh,
meticulous.
I didn't know he went with you.
Yeah, well, it's
Yeah.
his trip. He was looking for a partner. So I
Just you and
joined
him
Yeah,
Yeah, they were boozing buddies
Killer.
for 2 weeks. They were
sleeping
boozing
in the
buddies for 2
back of a
weeks.
car together.
a truck and
Little
a van.
sedan?
We had 2 different vehicles, but I've
Sure you
met Kane a
did.
few times. But this is the most we spent time together. He's a great dude.
Yeah.
Kane is
He is
awesome.
so
And
planned. He's so
Yes.
meticulous. He's so
Yeah.
thoughtful. He's so motivated. He's such a hard worker at photography.
He
Like,
spends a lot of work on Google Earth and stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
he is
Oh,
like
yeah.
a great. If you want to be motivated and photograph, like Kane is a great guy to spend time with. He doesn't
Yeah.
want. I mean, downtime. No, we're gonna photograph. Let's keep.
yeah,
We're gonna drive 7 hours to go photograph something. Let's go do it.
that's
And I
Kane.
appreciate that about Kane.
Yeah, that's Kane. That's totally Kane. And you're right. He's like when he's in the field, he's very, very, very particular. Like he's on his shit, man.
He is.
Man, he's awesome. I love that
Yeah.
guy.
And the cool thing is, like, we saw eye to eye on what to do and where to go. So, like, it was kind of a nice little. I thought it was a nice partnership for those 2 weeks.
Oh,
I wonder what he thought.
He's probably talking shit about me. He's like, he's,
Fucking Bellino,
that
never go
Bellino
with him
guy.
again.
he's a dick. No,
I
he did
just
well
noticed
together. He's
a-
good.
Copying all my shit.
yeah, man. It's awesome.
Yeah. He's
I
fun
noticed
to
this-
watch in the field if you do shoot with him. Like you learn so much because he is so meticulous. And I mean, it's just, he's so inspiring to watch.
I've never shot next to him. We've always gone off in different directions and come back to drink beer at night. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kane is.
Good dude.
Yeah,
I can
he's on
imagine
it,
that.
man. Yeah, he's on it, man.
I was looking at the backdrop. Go back to that one for a sec. The backdrop there, like how the upper right, has all the gaps in the yellow, and I was like, why does it still work? And I was noticed now that you have that big dark spot on the aspens on the lower left, and like the ferns
Yep.
are darker over there, like those gaps in the
Mhm.
ferns, like it all just kind of balances out. Like you have this stripe of darkness through it, lower
Yeah.
left and upper right. Anyway, just the
Agree with you,
subtleties like
man.
that. You would think at a glance that like, oh, it doesn't work. I don't have the full yellow carpet, but then it's balanced anyway.
Yeah, if you cover that up, it doesn't work as well. Like that
Yeah.
lower left, like black
Yeah.
spot between the
Yeah.
trees.
yeah,
So he just got a lighter and burned that in there in the scene. He had an assistant do it for him.
blowtorch.
Oh, like on a stick, specifically for torching aspens. Introduce, but it's all in camera. Okay,
Oh man.
Kane would never do that. Anyway,
Yeah, it's acceptable on the NLPA.
Oh shit.
I knew David would be stoked about this one.
Well, for one, I was with him when he shot this. For two, I was gonna actually use one of his fall images, but I said no because he's sitting on probably a good, I don't know, 60 new fall images that are sick that he hasn't released yet. And I figured he needed justice on some of those new ones versus the old ones.
well,
So that's why I
shit.
did.
I'm sorry, Nolan. I'm sorry I blew you up with your old shit.
Oh man.
I
That's
picked him
funny.
because I just the Eastern Sierra to me, like me personally, like in my photo journey, they were so important. Just one of the places that like struck a chord with me early on and like just feels so close to me, even though I don't have a lot of work from there. Like I love seeing people's fall work from there. It's just such a special place. And I love that this was not reliant on your peak, yellow aspens. Like he's got the greens in there, but also just such subtle colors in the bushes, cool tones that you wouldn't normally associate with fall, but it's still obviously fall.
Yeah.
Like it's really nicely balanced. It's more about the bushes than the trees. It's not just bushes lining the bottom and a standard tree shot. It's like a full scene.
Mm-hmm.
Just love so much about it, and all the bare branches in the middle, and like the subtlety of the thinner trees amidst the bigger ones, and like the wiry branches, and there's so much going on to love, but it's all like subtlety and variety.
Yeah, this particular scene when we photographed it, sunrise, cold cold morning. It was which is kind of funny. It was like later in the fall, but the colors were, still holding on. And there was, a mix of, past peak and, as you can see, some greens here. But what made the scene so nice, like I said, super cold morning, calm, clear, nice, clean light, that the willows just had this like nice soft glow and just added a whole bunch of depth to the scene that you just really, like you said, you just don't really, see a lot of images coming from the Sierra like this. And to see how everything kind of folded from, pre-sunrise to late sunrise, how the light was changing, just really made this scene come to life. And I tell you, just the soft light on the scene was just super, super, super nice. And again, it's one of those scenes where, people will go, oh, it's clear blue sky, we're not going to shoot, blah, 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 so on and so forth. But that clean light actually really made this scene come to life. Like, it was really, really, really nice.
Those are willows in the foreground?
Yeah.
So are there like 100 different plants called willows? Because the willows I photographed like at high elevation look nothing like that.
Yeah, they're like
varieties, right?
Yeah, I would assume, but yeah, I'm pretty sure those are willows, and this is super
mixed
nice.
in with something else, right?
Yeah, with some brush. Yeah. You see that a lot.
Brush.
You see that a lot in the Sierra, higher elevations. But man, super nice, man. That morning was, man, it was so nice, man. Super, super, super nice. We came back with a handful of images from that morning.
Yeah, I love this.
And like you said, Alex, those like skeletal branches in the middle, like just above center, are just so nice to look at. Just
I love that it's capped
detail and
with
that
the
texture that
canopy,
adds.
the fall color.
Yeah.
Basically, the whole scene is just capped off by the thing that most people would be obsessed with, and it's about all this other stuff that would be overlooked.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it occupies more space.
Like that's all you need up there is to give the impression of all that.
Yeah. I mean, fall doesn't need to be just about fall. Like, it occupies a narrower band at the top than the brush at the bottom. Like, there's less visual space being used.
It still says
framing.
transition to me, which is really what fall's about, right? And the variety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The changing of seasons more so than like a specific peak moment.
Can't get too tunnel visioned on the fall foliage.
But Nolan has a gallery, right?
Yeah.
I went there once. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So if is it still in, where is it at? It's in
Mammoth. Yeah.
So if anyone's passing through Mammoth, definitely stop by Nolan's gallery. He's got crazy great prints, and he's got some great stuff. And again, another guy who's not really active on social media.
Not at all.
But puts out amazing work. So
like I said, whoever's watching, just be prepared in the next, I would say, probably month or so. His new fall gallery stuff is going to be, it's crazy. It's by far the best work that I've seen from the Sierra with fall colors. It's really good. Really good.
Cool.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
And
I love
even
this one.
in that big gap on the left, so you have the two brightest big trees, right? And in there, there's kind of like a large gap where you don't have as many skeletal branches, but then there's that one little sprig of yellow in there.
Yep.
It's like every place that there could be an imbalance, it's got something balancing it or like filling it in,
Yeah. The scene has everything, but it's very cohesive and still feels like simple, really nicely done. You don't see stuff like this often.
Oh,
This one's crazy if you think about it.
That is wild. Just drop down right to the light.
Yeah. Like the light is the icing on the cake. Like, because that, like, physically it just leads that like landslide or avalanche track, whatever it is, leads right down to that tree. But the fact that it's being spotlit, it's really
I imagine that you'd look right past that particular tree if it wasn't spotlit. Like,
I wonder
a particular spot.
I'd be really curious if this was like planned or this was just kind of like,
I think it's spontaneous.
Yeah.
Maybe spontaneous, and then he moved into position to make that line up with the tree.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that seems like a
Shoot
fleeting
after
moment though. It's probably like coming around the edge of like a mountain or something, or it's not going to last very long. Or if it's a cloud gap, like that's going to be even more brief.
It could be like it was more lit up, and then he started seeing the light fading. He was like, "Oh, I can see that it's gonna like be last on that tree or something."
Yeah, or he like hiked down there and set up all these like spotlight things, and
Exactly.
That's possible too. He might have even
Yeah.
planted the tree like 100 years ago, just getting ready
Yeah.
for this moment.
I don't know how old Martin is, so I can't verify that.
His ancestors planted the tree and then passed this down. Like when photography was invented, they set him up for success.
Yeah, but I mean, like, man, just like how perfect is that?
Oh yeah,
It's just like just how good is that?
perfect.
He's in Europe, so these are what kind of deciduous trees are these?
Are they larches?
I
Larches?
think they're
They look
some
like-
form of larch or
Is it-
tamarack.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they're
Or are they just like dead
evergreen.
pines?
They look like
Well, it's-
conifers that
larches.
change with that many of them. Like in the shadows, you would think those would be brown if they were dead.
Yeah.
But they're kind of
Yeah.
like a little brighter, like larches.
They're glowy, a little vibrant.
Yeah.
So
I mean, he could have
yeah.
done that in post, but yeah, larches are a thing. So I would guess
Yeah.
that.
And that's actually one reason why I think I chose this image is to highlight the larches, which, the Northwest here, we don't really have a whole lot of aspens. We have a couple of
Well, yeah.
minor pockets, Steens, and there's a couple of places in southern Washington, but not like Colorado or Utah and Eastern Sierras. So the most analogous tree would be to me the larch, where in the like the first second week of
The
October,
enchantments. It's just like that's where my mind went at first for the fall.
Yeah, wasn't that an
Yeah.
awesome trip to the enchantments bowling out?
Oh man, it's amazing.
That we
That
did.
trip, our conditions we got were just
Are you
Sublime.
happy that someone got you a permit for that, or?
some guy who bailed out because of some toothache or something. Like he was.
Yeah, it's probably better that
I
he
thought I
didn't
had
go.
a serious
Good
dental
Lord.
problem. Turns out I was grinding, but
Yeah. So I wanted to find an image
Too much
that's highlighted
Diet Coke.
larches too. This is just an image which is just so direct. Like it just shows you, I mean, just what it is with the avalanche path and the way the tree.
Yeah, you don't
line
have a
right
choice.
side-
Like he forces you
don't
to
have a
look at it.
choice. But
Right.
so impactful. The tree line mimics the upper part of the avalanche chute, the rockfall chute. And just the way it ends at that one big tall larch, which is then hit by the sun, is incredible. Just very direct, in your face. There's no doubt about what this image is about. It tells the perfect story, and it just grabbed me. So I wanted to share it.
Yeah.
Hey, Michael, what is the what elevation do those larches grow at?
So there's like some lower ones, which are like, I think they're not really tamaracks. I think tamaracks are back east. There's like this other type of larch which grows taller like these do. And you can find some on the eastern side of Mount Hood or the eastern part of southern Washington. But in the northern part of Washington or central Washington, like near the enchantments or the eastern side of the North Cascades, that's where the alpine larch grows. And they're
Sure.
smaller and shorter. And they typically are in alpine basins.
Okay.
So like I would say between 6,000 and 8,000 feet, which by
Gotcha.
Colorado standards is not very tall, but by Washington standards is pretty high. Yeah.
Right.
So we're kind of fast approaching. Again, talk about a later than normal fall. I was just texting with a buddy today, Brian Swan, and he was thinking that there will be a little bit late this year.
Sure.
We're trying to get away for a long weekend and kind of back into the larches and photograph them. And I love larch season. Like it is when those things catch the light, the low angle, softer directional light. It's just pretty magical.
Those things, they look like they just glow.
Yeah, they are
That's
beautiful.
cool.
And very fleeting. They go from gold to brownish to drop needles within 2 weeks.
Oh wow.
Yeah, really
Wow.
fast. I mean, maybe 3
Wow.
weeks from green through the process. So
Got you.
timing is crucial.
So they're more like needle-based trees.
Yeah, they're a conifer that actually drops their needles, right? So they're
Okay.
not like a deciduous tree with like leaves.
Sure.
They still
Yeah,
the
yeah.
needles, but their needles turn golden yellow and then
Mm-hmm.
drop to the ground each fall.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool.
I wonder
very
if
unique.
they're like that's how the original conifers were, and then they evolved to just stay green to take advantage of the winter and still photosynthesize whenever they can.
Yeah.
Or if it's the other way around, that like the larch evolved to go dormant in the winter, it's more efficient.
To be more efficient. Yeah, great question.
It's a really great question.
Deciduous conifers. Usually you think those are one or the other.
And I think like the Dolomites have a bunch of larches.
Yeah, they do. And he photographs the Dolomites often. So
Yes. So this
Could
could
be
be
around
the
there.
Dolomites. I'm not sure.
Gotcha.
larches look sick when they're green too. They have really cool shape to them and stuff. I have some photos from the Dolomites in the spring, and yeah, they're cool trees. Look like Dr. Seuss trees.
Yeah, they're really elegant, especially the Alpine
Mhm.
larch is very
They're
elegant.
not as
with the
full.
branches.
They're not just like triangles, you know, like where they all look the same. They have a bit more character.
Oh wow.
Holy
Oh
shit.
Jack.
I just got vertigo.
Yeah, this one's fucking awesome. I remember when he posted this one, which for Jack is kind of known as like the mountain photographer guy. And so when I saw this,
Maybe.
I'm like, damn, he can really do it all too. Like,
Yeah, Jack is cold. He's super nice and not very active on social media, but man, he can shoot his ass off.
Yeah.
He's
So good.
really good.
He's really
That's
quietly like one of the best
Yes.
landscape photographers, especially because of how deep he goes. Like in Colorado, like just the most ridiculous treks, and
and
he'll
he
climb the
builds
peaks that no one else
photography
goes on.
websites.
Yeah.
And wide range
David.
galleries, like people that have really nice websites, like Jennifer.
You got
and
that, David? You guys both do?
Nolan, like
Yeah.
most of the people you guys sent me tonight were wide
Yeah.
range galleries. I
Wide
could
range,
tell.
yeah. Yeah.
It's
Kane.
the best photo websites.
Yeah.
They're
Mark
like
Adamus.
investment.
Yeah, yeah. You know, the other thing, like you said, Alex, he, like Jack gets back there. It's just, not even Colorado, but just, everywhere.
Wherever
that
he
guy
goes,
is.
yeah.
Wherever he goes. He's just like, he's like,
Spent the
like
summer
a
in
mountain man.
Austria.
Austria, yeah. Like 2 months, I think he was telling me he was up there. 2 or 3 months. I think he was saying he was going to be there. Austria, and was
Yeah.
it Switzerland or something like that?
Probably right next to it.
Yeah, but Jack he's really good, and just flies under the radar, but super, super, super good, man. He's really good.
So what's cool about this one, like it's a really awesome, engaging, visually captivating scene. But look at the weather conditions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
Just
is a
the
day
wind
where
blowing.
people would just like be like, fuck this. And it's like middle of the day. Sun's pretty high.
The thing about it is that this is like a now kind of a common shot without the falling leaves, right? Like just the upshot on the aspens because of the natural yellow and blue contrast. And like with the wide angle, it's kind of natural that you get like somewhat of a symmetry if you're in these forests and the gaps. And this just like puts every other one to shame because it's actually got so much depth, motion, like interest, and it could even be like a reflection shot. Like it's sort of
At first, I thought it was a reflection and they were leaves floating on the water. But I just realized right now, like looking at it longer, talking to you guys, that the leaves
the
are just
motion
falling
is that
down.
they're
motion.
getting blown down. So the condition.
Like a lot of
is
times
that
I'll be
there's
shooting
wind. Like that's the
aspens.
only thing.
And the leaves are falling, and I'll try to capture that, but it's so hard to really like capture the essence of what it feels like when you're looking at it. Like
I love
they'll
that
just be
there's
too
some
small.
motion in these that you can see.
Yeah, here it's
somewhere,
nice. They're just
to tell you what's happening if you look closer.
Yeah, it's what's really cool to me is like like you said, Alex, it just blows this shot away from all the regular tree images that they're just looking up, to the sky. Well, obviously the fallen leaves, but that center top tree fills the whole rest of the frame because most of the time, people just have that huge gap in the middle, but that center tree just fills that gap, so it just has like a completely whole feeling, and then
It's kind of
again,
a spiral, or
it has like that spiral effect to it, which is I mean I've never seen anything like this, and this is
And to get the
crazy.
sun star in there and have it not be all about the sun star and just another element
Right.
that works. I think that's just
Right.
cool.
Yeah, I never would have thought to do this looking this way with falling leaves. Like
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's-
I've tried to capture them too. Like they're so hard to capture and they're so pretty because they're all like fluttering and like
yeah.
sparkling as they come down, right? And like
Just
he's
come out
got
blurry
every
as
shade
shit,
too. He's
or
got
like-
the brown, the orange, the yellow, like one that's even kind of white, like catching the light directly.
yeah.
Mhm.
And
Full
it's
range of
cool
colors.
really well
if
defined.
if you look like kind of further into the scene, like up towards like the top center, the center like middle and right, you can see all the tiny leaves that are just like out of focus that are just kind of floating in the air too.
Yeah,
Like
That's
they're
super
just
cool.
falling. They look like stars
Right.
almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
makes me want to eat some potato chips.
Did you guys mention like the static leaves as well? like the ones kind of like bottom center, like just below the center point.
I didn't mention
Did I
those,
mention
but
that?
yeah.
Like I think it's cool. Like it's some feel really static and like the motion stopped or apparently stopped, while there's also that sense of
Yeah.
motion in the other ones. It's just like I glommed onto those static ones first, but then kind of like roamed around my eye and noticed what was going on. And I don't know, that's great. Such a great image.
You can literally rotate this image like any direction and it works.
Yeah. He probably shot it
It's not a good
handheld, right?
composition.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm
It's
sure,
like hard
I'm
to
sure he
say.
was laying
Like,
on his
right.
back,
laying on
yeah,
his
that's
back
what I was.
and
What
firing
I
off
was
frames.
thinking.
Yeah,
Like
I was
bats.
thinking the same thing. Yeah.
the blur has to be from the motion of the leaves, like but maybe like a 50th of a second, 100th of a second. I don't know how slow it would have to be to get that blur.
Mm-hmm.
But I imagine that's
cool.
intentional too, because with this much light, you could freeze everything probably.
True.
It's
Good point.
It's crazy.
Great point.
So crazy.
Yeah, he's got great work. His trip reports are amazing too.
Oh man.
Just
Yeah,
some of his like camp life photos are just so
Oh,
well
yeah.
done. And I mean, just like he's the storytelling from his trip reports alone, which are not usually super long, but
You can tell he loves doing that.
yeah, like he loves being outside and camping and being in remote areas and camping off
Yeah.
not in established areas
And sharing about it. Like,
yeah,
yeah.
he's amazing.
Yeah, Jack
he's
is
not
great.
doing it because he's getting anything out of it, like, externally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
It's all
Great.
intrinsically rewarded.
Yeah, great photographer, builds killer websites. Yeah, he's got it.
And he's so nice.
Super
Back
nice
as
too.
well.
That's the other
Super
thing.
nice. Yeah.
Speaking of
More
larches,
larches.
he has some different
Yeah.
larches, but
I know you would like
these
this
are like
one,
Washington
MB.
ones.
Yes, I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah, I know you would like this. This is all up MB's alley.
And then some, what's that? The red,
Huckleberry.
little, huckleberry brush.
Where is this from?
This is my pick too, Michael.
And I think this guy had a wide range gallery.
Yeah, Ken has a wide range gallery as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been following Ken for well over 10 years. Again,
never heard of him.
he flies under the radar. He's on social media, but he doesn't really post a lot, but he has some really great stuff, man. Really cool stuff. I think he's up there with you, MB, in the Pacific Northwest somewhere. But yeah, Ken has some great work, man. Wow. Yeah. And this, I mean, glowing larches, the brush, the red, the green, the golds. Like, I mean, everything is flowing here. Nice arrangement of trees. I like how the brush kind of filters in and kind of fills in that little gap there. Yeah, everything is working here for me, man. This is a really cool scene.
Yeah. Just the color. I mean, I'm not sure if I've ever seen larches with that rich huckleberry, like that red huckleberry, like together, like almost basically peak color. It's so different for me. Yeah. And the greens, like it's so well done. I'm looking him up right now.
Yeah.
Found him on Instagram, followed his ass.
Yeah, Ken he's great, man. He got some really cool stuff, man. Yeah, North Cascades, MB.
That's where it is. Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm glad I pushed back on your choices because this one wouldn't have come through.
Yeah. Well,
See? I do it for a reason, man. I'm not just trying to bust your balls.
Yeah. You just rejected everything else that I sent to you, but
Trying to elevate the lesser known people that deserve more attention.
Yeah. This is
He's going to get like 7 more followers.
well,
There's
he
only
deserves
one
it.
spot I've been to with this density of larches, like looking through the scene in the background, like how
Yep.
dense those larches are. It's basically a forest of larches. And there's
Mhm.
one spot I know about, and it was an amazing experience to walk through and peak color. I'm kind of curious
Yeah.
if it's the same spot.
Yeah.
But just that red
These ones are
color is
fuzzy.
perfect.
They remind me of like,
Fuzzy. They're furry.
you know, like when you go to like Michael's and get shit to like make
Yeah, like pipe
stuff.
cleaners.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
There's-
Pipe cleaners, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one is super cool scene though, man. I love this. I mean, I've never shot larches, but this makes me want to go up and find some.
Why do people need like purple or like neon green pipe cleaners, you know?
So they can build their own larches.
For kindergarten.
Yeah, why do they call them pipe cleaners? They should be called
Oh, I see. Yeah, and they're so
Yeah.
soft. The ones from Michaels, right? Like,
Yeah, they're
are
not
they
gonna
just
clean
based
shit.
on pipe cleaners, and they're not for cleaning pipes, or are they for
Right.
cleaning very like dainty pipes, like delicate pipes?
I don't know.
Crafts.
Good.
Not gonna clean my pipes.
DT, if you ever want to come up and do some large shooting, just let me know, man.
Man, I would love to, man.
It could be a grind to get into. There's some easier spots, but they're crowded. But if you want some more solitude, it's a grind to get into. Usually 2,000 or 3,000 feet or more.
You should try to get
the
permits
North
again for
Cascades, always
the enchantments.
You're trying to.
Well, you
We
should have
should.
me apply.
Alex
should.
should do it again for
Yeah,
us.
Alex, Alex, we need to get there at some point.
yeah, I do need to make up for that at some point in my life.
You
don't
do.
I?
Because that was a
I need to
great
make up for it because I didn't know what I was doing back then, and now I would kill to go there and shoot it.
Oh,
in the
you
same
definitely need
conditions.
to make up for it for anything you subjected people to from there. Do you have fun?
Here's my
Did you end up
favorite
with
thing from
photos
that
from there?
trip.
I have one that was in Conversations with Nature. It's like a really crazy looking larch that looks like a person with like its hands up and it has a sun star. It's called Scarecrow.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one
wider,
of your
right?
favorite photos ever. You have a print of it in your bedroom. And then there's another one that like me, TJ, and Bellino shot because it was like this crazy moment. We were sitting at camp. I'm pretty sure we were baked. And
With Prusik
we were
feet.
like, damn, should we shoot this? Should we not? Should we shoot this? And like this thing kept happening like over and over again where like this like snow would blow like through this channel and like make this large tree like bend and there'd be like snowflakes all around it that the light was hitting. And it happened like over and over again. So finally we shot it, but
Yeah.
Is that
I
where
think
TJ
TJ,
got Stand Strong?
yeah,
TJ
where
nailed it.
his was a bit wider with the lake and stuff, and it's pretty sick.
All right. So my favorite part about the whole trip is like, so to get there is what, 8-9 miles and 4,000 or 5,000 feet up. Is that right, Eric?
I don't remember, but it took a long
There was
time. It took all day.
snowstorm.
We got to camp at dark.
Yeah, it was kind of like it was blowing, it was snowing, which was great afterwards, but during the moment it was kind of like not great. Anyway, we set up
Freezing,
camp, get in the
fucking cold,
tent.
too
Eric and I
fun.
are sharing a tent, and out comes like 3 hardback books from Eric's backpack. I'm like, what is this
Library.
dude doing? Like,
Well, because that's notorious for going up Asgard Pass. It's like 2,000 feet in what, like a half mile or something?
yeah, we had
It's like
snow
there's
falling
crazy walls,
It was a
and you're
blizzard.
lugging.
I had no idea what kind of
hardcover
trail we were
books
doing.
up
everywhere. Yeah. And I think Ted and TJ were like, they kind of stopped earlier, and it was kind of like a little bit of a, that first afternoon as it got to be dark was a little bit kind of like making sure people were okay. And I
Yeah.
think you, Eric, you went back and found them as I set up tent at the camp.
Yeah, they were behind us. They just kind of collapsed in a random shitty spot and set up. And I hiked back to find them. I was like, dude, you guys got to go like half a mile further to where we are. You don't want to stay here.
Yeah, I think Ted, he had some IT band issues going up the pass, so he was in some pain.
Yeah, he hiked out the next day.
Oh, damn.
Back when
But,
Ted did photos.
He didn't shoot at all that trip, so he had already
Oh, that's
retired.
true.
That was like his last actual
That was
trip,
it.
I think.
That was it for him, huh?
I did him in, yeah.
Damn, you sent them into retirement, bro.
I was gonna say, was it
Damn.
the trip or the company?
Right.
I like
Well,
the. Go on.
Go ahead, Alex. You got it. No, you got it.
No, it was just about Ken's image, but that's off topic.
No, you
What
got
a
it.
tangent, Alex.
Let's bring it back to
Going off the rails.
All right, yeah, no, Alex, he brought it back in. Go ahead, Alex, you got it.
Oh, I just like the little like baby tree next to that middle one. Like I love I mean, that's one of my favorite things about the Northwest in general is like these or favorite details of it is like these fields of huckleberry, like they have them at Mount Rainier too, I guess, and like the little like nascent conifers that are just coming.
Shoot 'em while they're young.
babies. Yeah, like before they start breaking the next tree line, like you can get the tree against huckleberry, and I just love those little details in the northwestern images, and I kind of feel like it's a clue as to where it's from too.
And I think just this color rendition as well. Looking at the reds, they look very, to me, spot on. Like this is how they kind of look in terms of their exact color in the field, like in a more of a shaded area. But the chunks are also fairly neutral. They're not
Yes.
blue. They're neutral.
Yeah.
All the Aspen images have basically neutral trunks. Like no,
Yes.
kind of like they show that attention to detail with color, which often can make an image just rise above.
Yeah, I totally agree. And and it's funny too because, like you said, like the bark, when they're that dark, is so easy to make them, like you said, blue instead of making it more neutral, grayish, if you will. But yeah, you could definitely tell that there was detail paid attention to the color and whatnot. It's super, super nice.
I like how the contrast is pretty soft though.
Yeah.
It looks like there's some backlighting, like especially that middle tree you can see against the kind of darker trees in the background. Like that would all blend together if it was the same light. But
yeah, the larches do catch a bit more light too, though. They're just like brighter than everything else around them.
The ones right behind it aren't as bright, so then that middle tree even stands out against that kind of backdrop of more larches.
Mm-hmm.
So there must have been like it looks like there's a hillside going up there, and then maybe like the raking light was coming over the top but not hitting everything in the scene. Either that or he painstakingly selected each needle on that middle larch.
That'd be a lot of work.
Yeah.
Just every needle.
Dodging every needle. No needle left behind.
Or he went in with the magic wand on every needle. Like for some reason that was the tool he used.
Oh man.
Zero tolerance. And then he like clicked his way down every needle.
No tolerance.
He just held shift the whole time and then accidentally clicked without holding shift and lost his whole
to
selection.
start over again.
Oh man.
When that happens.
Oh man.
He was on larch needle 9,995 and then just had to start all over.
Larches are well known for having about 10,000 needles. He was almost done.
So close.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, wow.
You guys like this one?
Yeah, man.
So this guy, Willie Holdman, he's a local. He lives about 30 minutes away from me. I've known him for a few years because we're both based around here. And I actually ran into him this summer photographing some wildflowers up on one of the mountains here in the Wasatch, and really nice guy. And when he posted this one, I think it's from last fall in the canyons in southern Utah. I bookmarked it and knew it'd be a good one to share. So
that's crazy. That's a crazy scene.
So cool.
How come I can never find stuff like this?
I don't know. Pretty tough to see.
That's wild, man. I wonder what's cool about it. I mean, it's like, it makes you go like, is that puddle reflection? Is it like big? Is it small? Like there's no like real sense of scale there.
Well, like the mud that you can see through the water around the tree looks like clouds.
Yeah. It looks like clouds, and then it's like, does the bottom foreground, is it like a rock, or is it like, is it mud? Like just the angle of everything. There's no like sense of scale or anything like that. It just kind of makes you wonder, even with the leaves against the reflection of the tree, you're like, again, are those leaves small? Are they bigger leaves? I mean, it's just hard to tell, which is really intriguing and engaging to me.
And obviously this one was inverted, like rotated 180 degrees, but you don't want it to be any other way. Like it's perfect that way.
Yeah.
Super intentional feeling.
Yeah.
So it needs to be.
That's wild, man.
And I kind of feel like the way, like when he inverted it, the way that upper, whatever, third above the tree, just the way it kind of feels like it's slanted towards me as a viewer, which makes sense when he shot it, he's kind of looking down at a slight angle. But he creates this really cool dynamic at the top of the frame. Willie's
been shooting for a long time. I'd love to have him on as a guest. He has a gallery in Park City. He's had for a while, and he really focuses on selling like physical prints to people, and he's always installing stuff around here. Like every hospital, every hotel, the airport has his prints everywhere. So everyone around here knows his name. But like usually those are like shitty photographers, and he's an actual like good photographer. So
the locals,
I always get excited.
Locals,
yeah. I always get excited when I see his stuff somewhere. Like feel happy for him. Great. He deserves it.
You said he has a gallery there, no?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, on Main Street in Park City.
I'm just like beholding all the details.
I know.
Like
trying to figure it out.
Everything like swirls together. It's like all super cohesive.
The mud makes it, like the fact that the mud is swirled that way and gives such an energy to the sky in the scene. Like that's without that, I think it would be, I don't know, maybe a little more ordinary or less extraordinary. It's just that motion to the upper right, like this, and it mimics the lean of the tree too.
Right, it's all
Everything's head
flying.
direction. Yeah.
And even the puddle on the bottom as well kind of feels like it's coming from right to left, which leans into that cloudy sky pattern as well. Yeah, it's so well done, so well put together.
And again, super ordinary conditions. Somebody recently reached out to me, like in an email, asking if I plan my trips around the weather, because they said they went on a trip to one of the places that I go to, and the weather was very lackluster. And I was like, I don't. I just photograph according to whatever the weather happens to be.
Well, I think that's the thing. Like a lot of people get caught up with conditions, right? Like they want, the conditions to be a specific way. And then if it's not, they just kind of overlook certain things and just, bypass it. But not realizing that there's still stuff out there that you can still work with. You just have to, look at the landscape a little bit differently.
Yeah. And I think you become a better
nature
photographer
to be a certain
for it.
way.
I
I
piggyback on
totally
yours.
agree.
Expectations and tunnel vision and planning, like, all get in the way of seeing, right?
Right.
And then we
Like,
let
it's
go of
good
those
if you have a thing that you want
expectations.
to execute, but you're missing other things then.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
And so when you let go of those expectations, like your image type variety greatly expands when it's not really condition dependent. And that's like you said, Eric, you become you advance. Like I don't want to use the word better, but you advance, you mature as a photographer. And I think all of us here have done that. And it's hard for people to do. They are still so glued into the more eye-popping, eye-catching, condition-dependent photography. But when you get beyond that, whole new worlds and realms of possibility, and your enjoyment of photography, at least personally speaking, my enjoyment of photography like greatly increased.
I totally agree with that. I think once I let go of expectations years ago, photography became much more enjoyable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes
Well, you're not
everybody-
setting yourself, you can't be disappointed anymore.
Nope.
Yeah.
You can only be
Experiment.
like pleasantly surprised or completely stoked that you found something you never would have imagined. But it doesn't.
And I think that
if you
advice
don't
is
have-
frustrating for people to hear, but we all say it because it's true. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Like we photograph because we love photographing, and it shouldn't just be photographing when the conditions are right. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I think we
enjoyable to put
photograph
things together,
because
to arrange, to notice and see and figure it out. That's what photography is. It shouldn't just be when the conditions are aligned with good light or good color or.
Well, yeah, I think we photograph because we love the subject that we're photographing more than anything. It's more than like we love to photograph. And when you're able to appreciate that subject in all different kinds of conditions, like all different times of day, your relationship with it is going to deepen and you're going to notice things constantly. And I think that's the biggest difference. You're not just looking for nature to act one certain way. You're accepting and embracing all of the characteristics that it encompasses.
And that's what sets photography apart from other art forms is we're given a set of conditions and a set of physical objects to work with, and we figure it out. And so
it's like a puzzle, arranging
that's
things.
what photography is, really.
Yeah, that's why it's the best art form and all others are inferior.
Yeah, because they can just make up their perfect compositions, like exactly what they wanted.
Put
to
everything
Like, isn't that
exactly
cheating?
where they want it. Come on.
Use their imaginations.
So pampered.
I'm still trying to figure
Show
it
is
out.
talented enough for that.
This one is crispy as fuck.
Yeah.
Good word.
This was my pick just because.
So David, sorry, Jennifer, David also sent one from Brent. And I was like, sorry, dude.
Oh,
Yeah, he rejected me, Jennifer. Like that's what
sorry.
He was getting
That's
so pissed off this afternoon.
So,
I didn't have
Jennifer,
time
when did you
to
submit
review it.
images?
I
She was
did it.
first.
She
That's why I
must have
like
been, 'cause
Jennifer.
that's two people she bumped. She got in first.
I
She's
did
like
it
4 days ago.
Monday or Monday. I forget when.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll
That
definitely
was Monday
give
afternoon.
Well, I give Jennifer a pass. Totally give Jennifer a pass. But Eric could have easily told me, but like, no. Jennifer picked Brent already, and
I was
like,
fucking
okay,
driving,
cool.
dude.
Well, I mean,
I'm not gonna
give me
send
a
you some
break.
gnarly text message. I was just like, oh yes,
Gnarly
no.
text message.
But the thing is, then when I sent you my pics like 2 or 3 days ago, bro.
I know, but I didn't have time to look at them because I have a life, a career, a family.
Oh, but we're supposed to have time to know every image that's ever been
Right.
featured on your show and which
Right.
person
Well,
is
you
allowed
guys
and not
are
allowed.
my friends. You
and who other
support
people-
me. You follow along in my endeavors. You
Oh, we support you by
consume the
watching
content I
every
create.
3-hour episode. Yes.
Right, Alex. This
You
is
could
coming
speed
from the
him
guy
up.
that was like,
I don't
this is coming
support
from
you.
the-
No, I'm your friend. I don't support you.
Right, coming from the guy that wanted that bookmarks everything that he sees. I mean, like, come on,
So
man. I sent you
unsupportive. I don't even watch your every episode.
probably what he
you
was
could have bought 2
doing,
copies.
my-
While
I
he
mean, like,
was, yeah.
I know, right?
I didn't even
He
get
was
this one
over
for
there-
free because I didn't even write in it. Come on, I had to buy this at full price.
Right. I mean, the guy's over there bookmarking images. I'm sending him stuff. He could have easily just been like, oh, yeah, Jennifer got Brent already. And I'd be like, all right, cool. I'll find you something else. But no, he waits till the last day, 5 minutes before we're about to come on and goes, oh, yeah, those aren't going to work. Find me something
Yeah,
else.
5 minutes before. Yeah.
Like, it took me a long time just to find the stuff that I originally sent you.
Yeah, it takes me about 45 minutes, almost to
Same
an hour.
here.
Like, I'm not even
Exactly.
exaggerating. Like,
All right,
Sheesh.
I'm
You
gonna
know what?
ask
I
you
sent
guys to
in my
come back
3.
on.
I sent
I'm
in
gonna
my
find some
3 like
other
I
scabs.
sent in my 3 like 5 hours ago, like hours before the show, and then like 20 minutes before the show, he's like, "That one's not going to work. Like we already had this person on 2 weeks ago." I'm like,
Right.
I'm like hanging
Yeah.
out with my family. He's taking me away from my family.
No, well, my kids were here. That's why I
had
put my
to
phone
tell-
away.
Yeah, I had to tell a child that I can't hang out with you because I need to find another photograph because mine that wasn't good enough. Like he's like wanting to play with me. I'm like, I don't have time for this right now. I'm sorry.
Oh, God. Which is
I have
funny.
to find another photo.
All right.
Well, it's great because Michael's back there. He's just laughing because Michael's like, I don't have to worry about any of this. I don't have to worry about my kids or, leaving
crying.
anything. Michael's in his little office just hanging out, just laughing at us because we're just squandering over here.
I mean, luckily I have a teenager now who is completely independent and will gladly
Right.
spend an hour or 2 by himself.
Exactly.
So I have less pressure of family involvement, which obviously I'm involved, but
Yeah.
you need to give
'cause
teenagers some space,
Right. 'cause
Bro, I was
think
literally
you're-
changing a fucking poopy diaper when you texted me, Alex.
Yeah, 'cause
All
I think Michael, I think your son is the same age as mine. So I'm right there with you, man.
Is he 15?
Actually, 16,
16? What's his birthday?
January 15th.
All right.
2008.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
mine is
him-
December 7th. So almost
Yeah.
a full year apart, but
Oh, yeah.
they
Okay.
have the same year of birth.
Yeah, my oldest stepdaughter and then Belina's
Oh,
son
yeah, that's
and
right.
your son, they're all the same
Yeah.
age.
Oh, is that right?
That's
Matt
hilarious.
Payne's son, I think, too. And
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Too funny.
Yep. Dude, funny.
What if I was changing my own poopy diaper, Eric? I was busy too.
I didn't think about that. That's true.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's
Depends.
class.
Got to fucking crank out some photos. You can't get up to go to the bathroom.
No, I use a 37T.
Nice. Where do you find those? I didn't see those at Costco today.
Nice.
Walgreens.
Oh,
They just come in a 1-pack though because they're so big.
It's like a prescription.
Oh, my God.
prescription.
That's not over the counter. It's
Oh, my
you gotta
God.
give it to the doctor and the pharmacist. He's gotta assemble it.
Oh, my God.
Because we can't be just handing these out. They're only if you're truly
Yeah,
fucked
right.
up.
Oh, my God.
Grab a lunch.
sorry, Brent.
Brent,
Sorry, Brent. This is
we-
a great photo, actually. It's just.
Oh, man.
Well, no,
But-
I picked it because of what we were not because of what we were talking about earlier, but it ties in. I absolutely love after a giant windstorm, removes half of the leaves on a mountain and you're left with just these little trees. I live for moments like this in the fall.
Yeah.
So, while most photographers are complaining about a windstorm taking away all the leaves, I'm embracing it and rushing out there.
Yeah, this is super nice, and I agree with you. These are the scenes that I really like. The skeleton aspens with the splashes of color. With this one, he has the zigzagging layers all throughout the sea. Nice light, shadows. right? Without the cyan or super blue aspen trunks. They like this one does
Just
it for me.
slightly cool. They're like
Slightly
gray.
cool. A little
like a
bit of
steely
blue.
gray. Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of blue.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
Subtlety all around.
And just know, Brent, if you ever listen to this, I did have an image of yours that I did pick. I was thinking about you.
DT
I
and
thought
I
about
had
picking
him.
one, but then Eric's rule of like you can't pick anyone that anyone's ever known in the history of mankind or been featured before. I just figured I wouldn't be able to. So but it did come to mind.
I featured Brent on the very first episode.
Well, yeah, Brent, I mean, you should. I mean, Brent, man, it's crazy. Like, Brent totally flies under the radar. I think he actually only goes out to shoot like maybe a few times a year, but
Yeah.
man, he comes out with some killer stuff, man.
Yeah, his website is archived by trips.
Yeah.
That's how it's organized.
Yeah, he has some, man, amazing stuff. And even his old school film stuff is really good too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, the light here and that subtle blue shadows and that
Subtle.
just one
talked
red
about that
one
while you were
is
gone.
so nice. And I was listening. I just want to reiterate it, I got a headphone.
Sorry. Just like all of a sudden flip the switch. I have to bust your balls.
Subtle
You
blue.
try, dude. I got a whole legion defending me. I got lots of followers now.
Legion.
Yeah, they're gonna fucking attack your ass.
The Brews and
It's gonna
the Brews,
backfire.
they're gonna attack you because it's your show. They'll send you the hate mail.
Why'd you let Alex say that about you?
The Brews and
Nobody's gonna
Views
take the
Legion.
extra step to go over to my website.
Oh man.
You guys gonna bust anything else open or what? This is a slow show, man. I need Bowman here.
Well, unlike you, I have to get up at
Yep.
4:00 tomorrow morning to go to work. So yeah, I gotta keep it light.
Dang.
You chose your job, dude.
Hey, it's one of those things, man. Gotta work. Gotta live. But we'll see. Things might be changing next year, so we'll see.
That's right.
Ooh.
We'll
Yeah, I've
see.
seen you've been doing more
Elaborate.
workshops and stuff now.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what
Little
happens.
be cool.
transition.
It'd be cool if you're. You've been like such a
Become a real photographer.
well-known great photographer for so long. Like you totally could be doing it.
Yeah, I don't know about well known and great, but it's there's some opportunities that I'm looking into in the future, and we'll see where that goes. So yeah.
Lena, you got something else on deck?
Me? No. Not right now, no. One and done.
Jeez, man. All
I
right.
mean, it's not
Have
4
to drink
o'clock,
for all
but it's
you
6
guys.
o'clock for me. So, it's
Yeah,
it's
that's
one of those
early
nights.
too.
Sunrise tomorrow, so yeah.
Yep.
I actually have to get up.
What are you, a photographer or something?
Kind of.
A real one.
Just a hobby.
One that doesn't sleep through every sunrise for most of their life.
We haven't done sunrise. I mean, other than our workshops. So like this is pretty rare that I'm like, no, I'm gonna get up and go tomorrow. So yeah.
Do sunrise if I'm getting paid for it.
I love sunrise once I'm up. It's just the thought of getting
is
up
great,
and the
yeah.
actual act.
It always pays off. You're always like, fuck, why don't I do this every
so
day?
Fun. I
Yeah.
love
And then the
it.
next day you're like,
wake
fuck
up.
it, I don't want to. Oh, you like open your eyes and it's just like red outside. It's like, it's too late already.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm with you, MB. Getting up always sucks, but once you're like up and moving, it's it's okay. But man, getting up is always hard.
Yep. But then just like when the sun rises, it's just like a burst of
yeah.
energy, and I just love it, and it's always
Yeah.
worth it. It's just
It does suck when you wake
motivation's
up and
hard.
like you don't shoot shit and you're just standing around and you're like, God, I'm fucking tired. But
yeah.
usually it pays off. You're like, damn, like it's so quiet out, and it's just kind of nice to like you like drive home afterwards and it's still only like 7:38 and you're like, I've already done so much. I've had such a great day and I still have
Yep.
the rest of the day ahead of me.
Yeah.
Like you already nailed
Absolutely.
it. And
I actually love like all the attributes of sunrise and morning. The only problem is that you have to get up for it.
yeah, your body doesn't cooperate.
Alex is like, I'm good on sunrise.
I love it in theory, but in practice,
Oh man.
What'd you
God
do?
damn, that's
Alex,
good.
Hey Alex, real quick, did you say that you were up in you went back to Minnesota? Did I hear you say that?
Yeah,
Damn.
living in Minnesota now.
Damn, man, we didn't even get a chance to catch up.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I should do it on air. It's such a big, big change. But yeah, I'm engaged. I'm in Minnesota,
Oh,
and I'm from here. As maybe
Posted it on Facebook.
Yeah.
Public.
No, yeah, no, I just didn't.
Everyone's talking about it, dude.
I just didn't think that Bruce.
It was on the front cover of On Landscape,
life,
you know, like Alex Noriega engaged.
Yeah.
well, I
Thousands
mean,
of hearts broken across the country.
yeah, you're this. What a better platform. I mean, you know, you can.
Yeah, I can announce it to 8 people.
His legion, you know, his legion of followers. You know, he can, you know, let everybody know.
The minions.
8
So
to
you're
12 people will know that I'm in
So
Minnesota.
you're engaged. You're engaged now. You're in Minnesota. How's the transition back to Minnesota for you? Like, what's
You
that
know
looking
what?
like?
It's pretty great. Like I
Cool.
moved out west for photography 14 years
Sure.
ago. I was in Minnesota before I left. I mean, before
Right.
I moved, like that's where I was, and I just appreciate it now. You know, 14
Sure.
years of like living all around the West. It's like I appreciate the people and like even like the landscapes. Like not necessarily in the city. I'm near Minneapolis,
Sure.
but like outside the city, like now I can fuck with this stuff. You know, like back then I didn't
Right.
know what to do with it, but it's like all trees
Right.
and rocks and water and like elements, you know.
Yeah.
Whereas before
yeah.
I needed the whole scene. It's like I have to go
Yep.
west where there's mountains and there's scenes,
Right.
you know? But now
Right,
it's like
right.
like trees and stuff like that. Like that's enough. So I mean the
That's cool.
fall colors are great here. It's still basically summer. It's green here, but on the North Shore, like on the Great Lakes, it's starting to turn and they've just got like crazy maples and stuff up there. Like I'm excited to
And-
explore something new.
And they
Throw
get
a little piss on it, you're good to go.
No, he doesn't have to because you guys get a ton of weather out there too.
The weather. Yes, since
Yeah.
being here, I've gotten more
Yeah.
rain than I got in the last 14 years being out west, I swear. Like
That's
Yeah, out
like
here it's like
storms and
dry, and I
stuff.
think over there it's like rainy, isn't it?
No, but he gets like
there's
the
sunsets like every day, like the storms and the clouds. It's like
yes, I'm saying, yeah, you
there's
get
so much
all
like
the
humidity
weather.
and like yeah, it's
And you're
pretty
gonna get it-
crazy how much
and then in
weather
the
and how
wintertime-
many good skies. And then
Yeah,
the
the
winter
wintertime
is
you can-
actually insane.
Oh, dude.
Like hoarfrost
Yeah.
is considered
Yeah.
to be this crazy thing out west, and like it happens all the time, relatively
my
speaking.
God.
You know, like
That's crazy.
like crazy winter conditions.
Can't wait to see all the killer images, man.
I know.
I think
Well,
there's a sarcasm coming from Eric there, but I'm excited
Well-
at the small scenes potential, and then I'll still have a camper to travel out west. You know,
I'm
That's
sure there's
cool.
great
I'll be doing
stuff.
some
It's just
extended
about
trips
you
out west.
getting out there to get it.
That's awesome,
Yeah.
man. I'm happy for you, man. That's cool. And
Well,
then,
the,
like you
the
said,
thing about getting out there to get it is balancing that with family time, like a
Sure.
wife and stepchildren. So
yeah. Well, you're adulting now.
I'm adulting finally.
Finally.
I feel like it only took me 37 years to become
Or
Hey,
somewhat
Alex
of an
has
adult,
grown
yeah.
up.
That's I
Better late
mean,
than never.
you know, it sometimes it takes time, you know, and but you know the other cool thing too is like you said, like now that you've matured as a photographer, now all the other stuff you can appreciate even more now. So
And as like as a person, like just the places I've lived, like I
Sure.
appreciate the town I grew up in now. And I used to
Yeah.
be like, I need to get out of here. And now I went back and I'm like, this is nice. Like I would live
Yeah.
here. Like
that's cool.
I don't
That's
know.
really cool, man. Yeah, well, I'm happy
Yeah.
for you, man. Congrats, man.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Thanks, man.
So real quick, I opened up this Imperial Stout from Mortalis in New York. Amazing brewery. And it's called As Above, So Below. Has coffee and marshmallow, 10%.
Ooh,
Fucking great.
Wow.
that
That's a
sounds
good
good.
nightcap. Marshmallow. I think if an imperial stout had marshmallow, how can you go wrong? Really, just that
I know,
sweet
anything with
factor.
marshmallow.
Yeah,
Right. You can't go
It
wrong
tastes
with
like a
marshmallows in
really-
anything.
Smooth cup of cold brew with some some sticky
Some mush.
sweetness in there.
sweet.
Mm. Hey,
So
nice
what
to have a
is this?
grand scenic style image in the showcase.
Tad Bowman, who again, I don't know if even Tad is on social media or not, but
He's on Instagram.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, he's been posting every couple weeks or so.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I'm not sure I follow him or not, but
Whoa.
but I was
That's not cool.
no, I'm just saying I follow his work through his website. I don't follow him on social like that, but Tad's work is great to me. And again, I kind of, want to throw something else in the mix instead of, the small intimate scenes and, the trees. And it's just every now and then I like to see, a nice big scene. But for me, peak fall colors, layers, jagged mountains, soft apple light, stormy clouds. For me, when I see, even for myself, when I photograph fall colors, I like these kind of conditions.
Yeah.
Instead of like blazing skies. Like I prefer the dark, dramatic, bold, moody skies with fall color scenes like this. And this to me is like the perfect scene. I mean, this is so nice. And it's something different. I've never seen this composition from the Tetons. I mean, Jennifer's
I know exactly
been
where
there.
it is.
Jennifer's been there many times. Eric, you've been there. I've never been, so I've never seen this composition before, but I think this is really cool. Again, great layers. It's cool how the trees kind of mimic the mountains as well.
And balance it too.
Yeah, and balance it out.
yeah,
Moody skies.
Jennifer and I
light
were
on the
actually
peak.
in this
Yeah.
exact spot with Joe Roshback.
Yeah.
I've shot this scene before, but this is the best rendition I've seen of it.
Yeah.
This is super nice, man. I really like this one. I really, really, really like this scene.
The lighting here is
conditions for sure.
perfect to make the
Yeah,
mountain
like that.
stand out
Yeah.
behind.
And then the trees are naturally going to draw attention with the color. Like they don't need
Right.
the light on them. And then those, like DT was saying with the sort of stormy skies, like I think it works so well because you don't have the sky competing with the trees and the landscape.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
You've got enough color there. So then you got that cool, slightly cool. Again, I can tell it's a DT pick because it's not super blue. It's a little
Yep.
like steely gray blue, like
Yep.
slight.
Gray. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at
mimic
that.
Just
green
enough.
trees is
Just
really-
enough to have blue in the sky, like separate from the brownish tone of the mountain, but it's like all in the realm of gray, which I like. I like the subtlety there.
Mhm.
Super nice. I really like this. I think it's funny that Alex, this is a DT style pick. That's funny.
Oh, and the tree trunks, I mean, they're neutral, right? Even though they're in the
Yep.
shade.
Yeah, not blue.
Aspens, yeah.
Yep. Not blue aspens. Yeah.
There's one thing about the Midwest, got big wolf spiders. See one crawling around over there. I'll be right back.
Ugh.
You keep going though.
What do you?
Yes. Spiders in this house.
My wife and
Nice.
kids hate spiders, and I don't like killing anything.
Really?
So I'll like scoop them in a cup, and they get so mad at me because
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
those spiders would be like dead. I don't do spiders. Blowtorch. If I could. It's crazy.
I don't like to kill anything, even if it's small, because just like who's deciding on this hierarchy? Like,
Yeah, I can't do creepy crawlers though, man. I will be the hierarchy of the killing of spiders in my
Yeah.
in my
you think
space.
you're God?
I'm playing God.
Your life is more valuable.
I didn't even use a cup today in my trailer, and I saved a jumping spider. I just let it crawl in my hand.
Wait.
Spiders are
A
important. They kill flies and annoying
a
stuff.
jumping spider?
Yeah, they're cute. They're kind of like Muppets. Like they're fuzzy and
Oh.
like cute.
No. If they
But I
can
love
jump, if they can jump, and that means that they can jump on me. And yeah, no.
They're super intelligent. They're like one of the smarter like spider species. Like when they look
Sure.
at you, they literally like look up at you. Like they make direct eye contact. Like it's kind of
Ugh, that gives me the willies.
they're cute.
Huh.
Blowtorch. Sorry.
Hairspray with a lighter.
Yes, exactly.
That's right.
Oh man.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
this
just
is a-
fantastic. Tad Bowman
like
has a
it.
lot of great stuff.
He
Colorado
does,
guy.
man. Yeah, he's awesome, man. I don't. This is so weird. Like I was following him, like I said, years and years ago, just superly random. Ran onto his website, and I was like, oh man, this guy has a ton of good stuff. And I always like to go to artists' website and bookmark the guys that I really like. And he's one that I've had bookmarked for quite a long time now. So
Yeah.
huge
Ran
fan.
across his work a lot doing location research. He's one of those, it's like you're looking at kind of a specific area and then you're Googling it and just like getting an idea of what's out there. and you're like, oh, what's this one photo that's not a tourist photo that's really good? Oh, it's Tad Bowman again.
That's
Like,
it.
yeah, like
Yeah.
he's already been there and nailed it, you know?
Yeah, Tad, he has some sick stuff though, man. Jesus.
Yeah, he does. Look at this.
I always like seeing
Ooh, look at
scenes like
that.
this from the
Jeez.
Tetons because it's not the usual stuff.
Yes.
Just a little exploration. You can find stuff like this.
Yeah, I like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
He has the same last name as Paul too. I wonder if they're related.
Fun
Wow.
fact. Yeah. Wow.
Fun
Yeah.
fact.
Paul's not here.
Did
Insightful
did you mention
commentary here.
Did you mention the balance in this photograph,
Well,
Alex?
yeah, how the mountain's so dominant, but the trees being
Yeah.
mostly on the left.
It's
like,
so nice.
counters
It's like such a
that, you know?
simple balance, but it's just, again, it works so well. It just feels so comfortable and just weighted so well.
Even the light
would-
works nicely that it's not lit up on the left side of the mountains. you know?
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
And how
It's
the
just
bottom of the
right.
mountains are shaded.
yeah.
Yeah.
I would take this. I would totally have this in my portfolio if I had this.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
I would.
Oh my God, yeah.
I'd
I
have
would
it on
be
my
happy
wall.
with this.
I would have like gone out with a stencil and put Stormy Tetons 2 on the trees directly though.
A sign, like a wooden sign.
Oh,
That's part of the composition, right?
oh man. Yeah, man. I like this. Good job, Tad Bowman.
What'd you crack, Bolino?
So, yeah, I caved.
I made you
He
thirsty.
caved.
So this is a store-bought beer, but I'm gonna go plug it anyway. This is
Ugh.
Ninkasi
Store-
Imperial Hazy
Peasants.
IPA. And I'm gonna say, like, in terms
What brewery?
Ninkasi. I think they're from Eugene. You've heard of them, right?
Nah.
No, Ninkasi has been around for a while. They're from, I believe, Eugene. And they had, back in the day, they had beers I kind of liked, but I kind of fell out of, they didn't really buy much of their stuff. But this one, which is an Imperial Hazy, is actually quite good as a store-bought six-pack. Not nearly the level of like a Brewhouse or any Fidens or, Great Notion in terms of their hazies, but quite satisfying as just a kind of like a cheaper version to enjoy. So I like it.
Nice.
It's good.
David, you get all that? You're transcribing.
Yeah,
I'm taking notes.
We're gonna convert
Okay.
David into a beer
He's
star.
All right.
looking at moving from court stenography over to photography full time.
Yeah.
I am getting older, so I need to, think about doing something else now.
A little easier on the bones.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, drum roll for the last image of the showcase.
Which is
Yeah.
Matt Oliver?
Mal.
Yeah. I think I found Matt recently because of this image. And I was like, holy shit, who's this guy? Because this image
Right.
is fucking nice.
That is nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
love it.
So again, like what I like about scenes like this is how wild it feels. Like
Yeah.
really
That
wild.
broken tree on the left.
Yes.
and everything's
Like-
scarred up and it's got like lichen scum on it. And the ferns are all different colors. Some are green, some are red.
Yeah. And it just has like this wild, like I said, like a wild forest woodland feel. And like it's not like something like you would just see, like walking down, some regular hiking trail or something like that. It just feels really wild and, primeval, if you will.
Yeah, the
It's
composition's perfect.
This one is
Very,
wabi
very
sabiing
cool.
its dick off.
Nothing.
oh my God.
It's wabi. It's what? It's stick
Wabi
up?
sabi.
Wabi sabi.
That's
You know
what I
wabi
heard,
sabi, like the Japanese
No.
concept of like imperfect
Oh,
perfection.
God.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh my God.
oh.
Oh,
Sabiing its stick off. I remember. Glowing its stick off is one of my favorite phrases.
That was the
Same.
classic one.
Ours,
That's where
yeah.
it started.
Classic
Oh.
Eric.
oh my
Watchmen.
God. This guy.
Was that from the Watchmen? I
God.
thought it was from our drive in Colorado. when we first
Oh,
said
could have been. I thought maybe it was with Jennifer. We were driving across
Yeah.
the bridge. I was like, man, the Watchman's glowing its dick off.
When David
There are
and
like
I
50
are out,
photographers there, like always. And
I will say, like, that comment probably comes out at least once
See.
in a photo outing. Like, yeah, in your honor.
I appreciate it. I'm always there in spirit.
You are.
Oh my God.
But yeah, I just love how it's like messy, chaotic, but so cohesive and well
every
composed. The
element is
spacing
perfectly placed.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
Space
guy,
and,
I'm
like that huge gap, like that perfectly placed backdrop of the next set of trees. Like, oh God,
yeah,
there's
I'm on his
nothing out of place.
I'm on his website. He has some really, really, really good stuff.
Instagram too, yeah.
He has some good stuff. He's from the UK, yeah?
Yeah.
It must be. Yeah.
Yeah, man, this guy.
Dirty.
Yeah. Well, man, oh man, this guy got some. Oh my
Well, yeah, I
damn.
mean, I follow him, but I didn't realize how much amazing stuff he has.
What's kind of cool is also like the terracing, where the foreground trees in the bottom right are like on a higher.
Yeah, it's like
and it kind of terraces down to the
up again.
mid-ground.
Yeah.
And terraces down to the veiled, foggy background. It's kind of a nice.
it's perfect to include the
diagonal
ferns so they
right,
fill
upper
up
left.
like half of the frame.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Yeah.
So much depth to
Ferns
the
are
landscape.
fascinating. Like the different colors, like after seeing our like Colorado cane ferns, now looking
Yep.
at these, it's fascinating.
Yeah.
Like
And-
a purple.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
like
it's super
fall does
nice.
not need to be vibrant color, right? It can be kind
Yeah.
of muted. The ferns
Muted,
could
yeah.
be well past like the brown phase that could be on their way out. And
Yep.
it's a very muted scene, but it works so well as a color
Mhm.
palette. Again, a lot of people would say, the conditions are past peak, so why photograph? And this is a great example of why to do it.
Oh man.
And
Yeah, this guy has some
different-
really good stuff, man.
That's what
Man.
I'm looking through his stuff.
All right, let me
He's
go on.
crazy good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
he has
I-
some,
amazing.
Yeah.
Eric,
Keep
I
it in
just-
your
I
pants
just-
till the end of the show, dude.
Eric, I just found his image over here on his website. Yeah, man, this guy has some sick shit.
He does.
Yeah, great woodland photography, right?
Yeah, man.
These are like
The other
poplar
stuff too.
trees,
Yeah,
Sorry?
birch trees, something, the white bark.
I think those are the birch.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're in the poplar family though.
Yes.
Beach, perhaps.
Beach.
No,
Beech.
Well,
beech
beech over
trees
there,
are
don't they?
different. Those are in New Zealand and stuff. Birch are like the white bark and deciduous.
Good lord.
All right, the beach are the like smoother skinned ones.
Yeah, they're
We have birch around here, which I'm pretty stoked about. Like not having
Yeah.
aspen anymore. Still having some white trunks. Man,
yeah, atmosphere,
great job, Matt.
beautiful processing.
Yeah. Wow. Oliver. Very nice. Mr. Oliver. Very nice.
I've studied it. I can't really find flaws.
Mm.
Yeah, there's nothing you'd clone out or anything. Not even Mr. Noriega.
Well, I see something, but it's like it doesn't matter. You don't look at it, you're not looking at it.
Yeah.
It's like it'd be a little curves layer, just a tiny little thing. It's like this is about as perfect as it gets in the wood.
Are you talking about darkening the bright tree on the right side?
No.
Upper,
Okay.
In the lower right, there's like
Oh.
a fern right along the edge. Like right where the one curves over, and then there's kind of
I see that. That
parallel
doesn't
one to
bother
the
me. If it were mine, I would
I'm
darken.
looking. It's only because I'm like,
that-
this is so perfect. Is there any flaw?
Right.
And then I'm like,
If it were mine,
Maybe, yeah.
I'd darken that tree near the right edge in the background, that small white tree trunk. But you don't need to.
yeah.
No,
It's just something
it
I would
doesn't
do,
matter.
like kind of
Yeah.
knee jerk.
well, it's like, yeah, it's like, oh, such a great photo. Let's critique it. But it's like,
Yeah.
is there a flaw?
gotta
or
do
is it
something,
perfect? Like- yeah.
Yeah,
He's got the sky gap too, but it doesn't matter because of the fog and stuff.
it's very
Atmosphere,
even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sky
It's
gap
not
doesn't bother
jarring.
me.
It's not jarring out
Yes,
there.
no,
No, not at all.
Mhm.
Because of the lightness of the fog.
It's a cool scene, man. This is yeah, super nice.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Damn.
I actually like how the let's see, the bigger birch meets up with that dark one at the top. Like they kind of converge and hug each other.
They kind of
Yeah, I
kissing
bet you like
cousins,
that.
yeah.
Oh,
Kissing cousins.
Kissing cousins.
Yeah, good shit, you guys.
Good show.
Great showcase.
Great images.
That
Super
was
inspiring.
that was really good. I makes me want to go out and do some shit now.
I hope so. That was the point of this: get people fired up.
And
Well,
you
by
know,
the time
punch
you release it, it might actually be fall.
right, and then punch
It'll be out in
Eric
2 days.
and punch Eric in the jump. You know, for all the shit he was talking tonight. He's
Especially
in a good mood.
before we got on
Oh, I know.
the air.
Yeah, it's cool.
Even
Eric,
today
what
it
else?
was Jennifer. Sweet Jennifer.
Yeah, I know.
And Eric is just
Yeah,
stabbing everyone.
It's fair game, you know. I can't discriminate.
That's true.
Got to treat the ladies the same as the guys.
That's right. It's not my first rodeo here with this show. So.
Got to treat them just as poorly, or else I'm
that's funny.
not being fair.
Too funny. Too funny.
It's not your first rodeo, right? You do barrel racing?
That's right. I can literally say that and actually mean it.
Yeah. You've been to a few rodeos.
I have.
Competed in them.
I have. Maybe one. Yeah. Yeah. Or won money and won a buckle. And maybe I was the state champion twice. Yeah.
Oh,
You stand up. Maybe I'm wearing
Really?
the buckle right now.
The belt,
Now it's at
Like
home.
The
the championship. Yeah, heavyweight.
They're a big deal in that world. Like, that's like, oh, yeah.
The buckle.
Oh, yeah.
the buckle is like the thing, man. It is.
Yeah, it is.
The bigger, the better, too.
Oh, yeah.
That's how you measure the prestige.
No, seriously, it's true.
Yeah.
Right?
The money's nice when you win, but it's really the buckle. It's like,
Yeah.
Gives you clout.
Awesome.
what? It
Gives you clout.
does, yeah. Bragging rights.
Yeah.
Mine's in a case, so I don't really wear it.
Damn.
Yes, it means a lot.
Gotta preserve it. Well, good stuff, you guys.
Well,
Thanks for joining.
I'm waiting to crash Eric's couch back there. His little. his
It's
little
ready for you.
chair. I know.
Pop a little sheet on there, a little plastic sheet in case you pee.
A plastic sheet.
Oh, you'll be changing my diaper like your kids. My poopy diapers.
You can borrow Alex's prescription.
I don't know if mine would fit. It's only a 37T. It goes by age, right?
That's good. That's too funny.
Oh my god. Oh my
You stopped
god.
It is still
bigger at a
toddler,
certain
though. It's
point.
still a T. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my god. Dying.
Uh,
Yeah. Well, it was good catching up with all of you guys.
Yeah. Good episode.
Jennifer, I'm sure I'm going to be seeing you here pretty soon anyway. So.
Yeah, I'll hit you up. We'll arrive in Death Valley, like, I think we leave the 14th of November. We'll be there the 15th, and we're there in Christmas. So,
All right. Well, yeah, I'll definitely be
Nice.
out there. So
yeah.
I'll be doing a week not a week, like 4 days with Matt. So
Yeah,
4 or 5
so-
days. So
I'll be out there in January, David. I'll come a day early and crash at your place
all right.
on the way
Yeah,
out.
you're more than welcome. You know, I'll make sure I have the plastic on the couch
Yeah.
for you.
No, I'm not getting the couch. I'm getting the bed.
Oh,
What are you talking about?
yeah, I like you enough. I will put you in the bed.
With the mini fridge. You mount a mini
Yeah.
fridge.
I got you.
You remember last time?
Yeah, man. And then I don't know when I'll see MB or Alex again. You know, Blaney will be dodging me every time he comes to Death Valley. I don't know why.
Alex is
I've
going
passed
out
through
to
Vegas.
Death Valley.
I'm going out to Yosemite and passing through Vegas.
Well, come through.
Okay. But
Let's
also
go,
I'll stop through Death Valley. Like while Jennifer's there.
All right, cool. Well, I'll be out there. Sushi again, Alex. You remember?
Oh, I remember with TJ, right?
Yeah, man. We'll go to the sushi spot. I got some other ones better.
I like
All right.
chickpeas.
Oh,
I love sushi.
Chickpeas is
My
like
favorite.
chickpeas. We don't even go over there anymore. There's like better Mediterranean places now.
Okay, you got to show me.
Chickpeas a restaurant?
Yeah, it's like
I thought you were
Greek,
just saying you
Mediterranean.
like chickpeas. While we're talking about sushi, I'm just like, okay.
No,
I like
no,
black
no, no.
beans. I don't know.
no. It was a name of a spot. That spot was good, Eric. But yeah, we got some better ones. Got some better ones.
Looking forward to it. There are good sushi spots in Vegas, that's for sure.
Yeah, we got them out
Yeah.
here, man.
Got the
Really
ocean
good
right
sushi.
there, you know, fresh catch in the morning.
Look at Eric, man.
Look at that smile. He
Devilish
loves cracking wise.
Right, devilish grin. Well, it's good to see him smiling again.
Yeah.
know?
I was waiting for you
It's-
guys to fire something back, you know.
Man.
No, I'm not gonna beat up on you too bad. I'm not gonna beat up on you too bad. No, I don't want it. I just don't want it to go all over YouTube on how bad I just would, go in on you. But I'll save that. I'll save that one.
Well,
All right, guys. Well,
see you guys later. Huh?
Great to see you
cheers
all.
to another good one.
Good seeing
I'm
you guys.
drinking Coke too, Alex.
Cheers.
I'm gonna finish the night out
Third one that you cracked there.
with a Diet Coke.
Yeah.
Cracking it
Little
for
nightcap
Alex.
Diet Coke. Settle down.
Right. All right, guys.